Oh my God, it's us. We're live on the internet. I started talking before they could even see us, I think, during that fancy transition.
I like that.
But we're here. That's good, right? That feels like the right move. A little like voice in the machine.
It's like a smooth on-ramp.
Hello. Welcome back. We're back, friends.
Yay.
We're back.
It's been a minute.
It's been months.
It's been many minutes, yeah.
It's been so
probably
long.
thousands of
Jeepers.
minutes.
It's been
at least seven.
Thousands. Yeah.
It has been since February. It has taken us like way too long to return. I was fighting technical difficulties all winter, along with seasonal affective disorder. I've come out the other side. Here we are for our delightful adventure with furry forest critters.
For our fall-time adventure? Yeah.
Yeah. Our fall-time adventure in May.
Fall-time adventure with furry forest critters.
Yeah.
Eventually,
5 times fast.
Yeah.
Eventually, it's going to come back around. It will be fall.
I know.
Yeah.
I was thinking that today, Grace. I was like, honestly, it's perfect timing. If I could land this ship next November, like, we're in good shape, you know?
The Marshview 5 are going to be marching back into Marshview. That's a lot of marching and marshes in that sentence. Going, wow, we've been gone a year. Felt like a couple of days.
Rich, you think we're going to let you finish this by November?
No, but we just need to finish this adventure. I don't actually need to finish the campaign. We just need to finish this particular adventure so I can change the seasons. And we can do a full year of winter, a full year of spring. You know,
next season, Holly goes after Vecna.
Really. It's very funny. We like joke about it every time we get together to play this, but I was like, let's do a little Humblewood adventure. Maybe 3 or 5 sessions. We'll wrap it up. Like, this is 6 and we're not even like a quarter of the way into this thing, you know? Yep, we'll take it.
Hey, you guys got to step it up. I mean, I've got my mystical artifact from a bygone age. I mean, hurry up. Go get yours.
Holly has one, just doesn't use it.
Yeah.
Holly's carrying one in her backpack. Yep.
That is true. I forgot about that.
I went to go double check the abilities and like the item stuff last night, and I was like, Melissa doesn't have access to the sheet. Oh, right, because she has not put it on yet. They have like no clue what this thing does for like 3 sessions now. Yep.
Meanwhile,
I know you were going to tell me, and I said no. I was like, no, not till she.
We're all watching this tiny Jerbeen lug a set of armor around behind them.
I went on a search last night looking for an appropriate image to embody the armor, and I just couldn't find a good one.
It's okay.
Mouse armor.
It just wasn't perfect enough.
Yeah.
Just
lives in our
mouse
imagination.
armor.
Exactly, Austin. I felt like, especially like with the limitless bounds of our imagination, why would I confine this magnificent armor to this one picture? I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
There has to be some Redwall fan art out there somewhere.
What the heck is Google doing? That doesn't. Oh, I did find mice armor. Well, that's great. I'll just copy the link to these adorable images in the public chat because
you totally can.
This is what we're doing now.
Yeah, we're just gonna hang out and look at mouse armor all night. I'm a big fan of Dave Peterson as like a comic artist who writes Mouse Guard, and there's a lot of like cool mouse armor and Mouse Guard. Yeah, mouse weaponry. It's great. That's an RPG we'll have to play here one of these days, but not today. As today we will play 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons using the Humblewood rules. Yeah. So I don't know what's new, you guys. Anything crazy? Like, has anything wild happened in the last 3 months in lives? Like, a lot, right?
My Welsh accent hasn't gotten any better.
That's great. Yeah, we love to hear that. Neither is my Italian accent.
So we have no idea. I'm not entirely sure what Quilliam is going to sound like when I open my mouth, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm going to rescind even calling it an Italian accent. I'm going to just call it my innkeeper accent here, my Saltersport accent.
It's a Saltersport accent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Grace, those are very cute.
Yeah, right?
They are quite cute, actually.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. Grace has distracted us. We'll get here in a second.
The one is like made of little seashells. It's so cute.
Yeah.
Why are you sharing this? I'm not seeing them.
In the Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I want the world.
Do I have to open another tab?
Yeah, everybody click out of my Twitch. Just leave now so we can like peruse
More
mouse
processing power.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see if we can set your computers on fire on the other side of the world.
Yeah, my RAM is not working hard enough.
Very notably, we're down one Cervan tonight. Aston could not make it. I just want to like stop down now to send her mad love. We miss her. I like hate to go ahead without her, though it has been so long. She was very encouraging about like, please no, don't wait. Like it's time to play Humbleyuir again. So we move on tonight without our fifth, but we are the Marsh V5 and me. And yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys have like any crazy questions other than what the heck is happening in this campaign? Because it's been 3 months. You know,
we've just had a crazy night at the bar, so we might be a little bit hazy in the details about what just happened.
That's true.
There was singing, a bit of fighting, a bit of flirting going on, so might need a bit of time to recover.
Yep, makes sense. So a little bit of all of that.
Maybe 8 hours or so. Is that sort of what you're thinking there?
I wouldn't say no. I'm an old man.
It's very specific, Austin. It's like you get something from 8 hours. You know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, definitely not me like looking at my sheet, being like, "What did I take it for?"
You get nothing.
I did go through your sheets. You guys have a lot of abilities. You're all 4th level. You're pretty tough for 4th level characters, but you're a bit beat up.
We're 4th level plus a bonus feat. So
yeah, that bonus feat is
true. Does a lot of work, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help it. I want more stuff, more fun stuff.
I love it.
Yeah, it always makes sense. I mean, we have 2 feet, so should you? Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, theoretically, we have 4 feet, right?
Oh, I'm playing a millipede character next, so
yeah, the number of feet that your character has, how many feet you get to take at the start of the game.
I think they are coming out with 3 Kreen in this like next big race supplement, right? And they do have 4 arms, and 2 feet, maybe 6 feet. I don't know. They have wings also.
Why are they called 3 Kreen?
Right?
Come on.
So people have been saying for 30 years, Grace.
Yeah. Unless numbers, maybe in their language, numbers are different. So
4 Kreen. Yeah, wait till you guys hear me role playing 3 Kreen, giant insect people. That's not strange at all. Maybe.
I mean, if this isn't the campaign for that, I don't know what is.
I guess that's very.
We've heard you actually role play little tiny insect creatures.
Many bugs. Yeah, many bugs along the way. I feel like Aiden is very actively going to search for praying mantis tonight just to force my hand.
Perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, don't know.
I can find any kind of little insect bug creature you want. We already got a gnat out of you. Let's see if we can get a praying mantis.
Oh, I know. You've been big inspiration to me. Quite frankly, all of you, all 5 of you. But like especially our little druid friend, as I'm like playing a druid in a Humblewood campaign, and I'm just like, oh yeah, the bugs. I could talk to bugs. It's a lot of fun. It's like great. Yeah, very good. Thank you for that gift.
Oh, just wait until I get 3rd level spells.
I will wait. We will give Austin a second as he is on the far side of the world, fighting his way back through like technical difficulties. This, of course, is our ridiculously diverse international crew. I am the only American in the room, right? Canada,
well,
Australia.
Technically not, but you were the only person living in the U.S.
True. I am the only
very good point.
current like person in the U.S. of A. Right? Yeah.
Then we got the length and breadth of Canada.
We do.
Not quite. About 2/3 of it.
Not quite, but a decent chunk of it.
It's really big.
Canada is indeed really big. Somebody should write a song about that. Then me in the middle of Europe. Well, in the middle of Europe and the west of Europe.
I was going to say.
the
middle of Europe? Like, what happened? Europe's moving?
Well, no, because I consider myself like the middle of this crowd. There's like, there's 8 hours in that direction or 8 hours in that direction. And then there's me.
Yep, in much the way that you do with Dungeons and Dragons, I completely, overreached and underestimated and was like, hey, let's get like 27 hours worth of time zone coverage in one group and schedule that, and it'll be awesome. Okay,
There's
cool.
27 hours in a day in Humblewood.
I was going to say, I like how you just said a number that is more than the number of hours in a day.
Yeah, that was intentional. I speak with great hyperbole for effect.
Yeah, it's weird actually. Melissa's an hour before me yesterday. It's a weird one.
That is fascinating, actually. So you mostly stable, Austin?
Not really, but
That
we
was
will
pretty
persevere.
quick reaction. That was pretty. So we'll see. We'll just see how long it keeps like extending.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah.
Okay.
It takes Obi a really long
I feel like
time
it's
to think about
falling,
his responses.
over time, it falls behind.
Losing ground. We're gonna do the best.
Obi's
we can.
dexterity, his reaction time's a little broken today.
Yep.
I think this is gonna be awkward.
My Obi, what did you drink at the bar?
Yeah.
Is it better
We're already
if
at
we
the
just stay on the
awkward
table with them and we're drunk? So this all makes way more sense, Rich. Maybe.
I think Obi has been dipping into their special brew.
Can send you with copious amounts of alcohol. That's certainly an option.
Yeah.
No, these are kids, Rich.
Literally, none of us are kids.
None of us are kids. Yeah.
To me, you are. Anybody under 60 is a kid to me.
Okay. What do we say? Should we try to get ourselves back in to our furry friends here?
I'm happy to try.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we shall. I think we should reflect, for it has been some time since we have gathered with this group. And so, the story thus far, these 5 souls from the village of Marshview, tucked away on the southwestern corner of the vast Yuirwood sprawling across the Faerunian continent, gathered for a fall festival when brigands struck. A robbery occurred, an old artifact, the staff of the Night Father, taken from the local inn. The 5 of you rallied to pursue the thieves into the night. You were much distressed to discover that the thieves were, in fact, the perch guard of the Humblewood, the very soldiers who are tasked with upkeeping law and order, protecting the citizens of the realm. Corruption afoot. The lot of you fought them, regaining the staff back in your hands, but rather than returning to Marshview to hang it above the mantle where it has sat for so many years, the group of you realized that an old foe has risen, a necromancer from the days of yore, once feared across the entirety of the Humblewood, has returned. The dead walk the nights again. And so you pursued, driving forward, making for an old holy site, a place called the Deep Well, the burial ground of one of the heroes of ages past, one who drove this very necromancer back when last they rose in the world. Brigitte, a legend of old. You discovered there the skeletons of bird folk risen from the dead, along with the natural beasts of the forests. Much battle ensued. You met an old wanderer, a Vulpin man, a fox folk named Noel, who fought alongside you, spending the night at this refuge in the wood, when a spirit appeared before the youngest of our party, dear Holly, who was tasked with diving and swimming to the depths of the deep well to retrieve a relic of the age long past, Brigitte's very armor, the glimmering silver breastplate that this warrior bore when she stood against the necromancer in the days long past. Having retrieved this and gaining some semblance of information from old Noel as to where the rest of these ancient relics may lie, you decided to press on making for the city of Saltersport, one of the strangest cities in all the Humblewood, as it is built not in the trees like most of the great cities of the forest, but rather on a tall stone tower on the coast, overlooking the crashing waves of the Sea of Fallen Stars to the south. On arriving, you stopped at a shop outside, a magical item shop run by an old captain known simply as the Captain. You bought a number of trinkets, you traded with them, bartering information, learning a bit about what may lie ahead, pressing further into the city itself when you stopped at the inn and tavern of Maina's. It was there that Odella Honorel was spotted by associates of hers from days past, thieves whom she used to run with in this rough and tumble port city in the south end of the Humblewood. Odella apparently having skipped town, leaving them looking for her. Her return to Saltersport was noted. Much and more occurred in your hours at Maina's. I believe that you ate a great deal of bug cheese. There may have been some escargot served. The not underage mouse, Holly, did in fact get mead, much contrary to old Quilliam's desires. Obi Honorel took the stage. Performances were given, but before the night wore out, a fight broke out as Odella was spotted by her former compatriots of the Thieves Guild called the Storm Shadows here in Saltersport. One thing leading to another. Lives were lost, bandits killed, these hooligans and ruffians who sought to put hands on Odella and return her to the boss of this local Thieves Guild, Don Clement, a.k.a. Don Clamato, as he is known in the inner circles. The group of you were not having it. Don Clamato's agents were laid low. Blood spilled on the tavern floor and in the green grass of the back lot. Bandits killed. The old innkeeper named Maina, a kind of gallus woman, an old sort of chicken woman, as it were, ensorcelled in an apron and bearing great platters of heaping foods, led you quickly into the basements, the storerooms. And as the camera opens tonight, after my very long and rambling intro, we catch sight of 4 of the Marshu 5, as notably Almond with Old Noel rests in the rooms of the boarding house across the road, while the 4 of you, having just kind of made your way down the stairs into Maina's storerooms beneath the bustling tavern above, you hear the commotion, footsteps, the murmur of voices through the oaken roof of this building, the floor of the tavern above. As you look around, there are all manners of barrels and foodstuffs, wheels of bug cheese hanging from the ceiling, baskets filled with eggs and produce all about. I think like a simple lantern like flickers, casting dancing shadows of glimmering yellow and orange light across the kind of cobwebbed earthen floored basement. And as the camera takes in the sight of the 4 of you, I will shut up.
Oh, I'm beginning to forget what it's like to have a quiet evening.
I mean, that sounds kind of boring. Why would you want that?
Oh, there's a lot of enjoyment to be had in just a quiet, dull evening. For one thing, one doesn't fall off a roof or see young people from the village viciously attack brigands. Oh, it can get a bit overwhelming sometimes. Is everybody okay? Odella, are you okay?
Yeah.
I mean, did you know those people?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Obi, you should got them pretty good though. That was great.
I must concur. It was very impressive.
Well, I mean, it's just what I do. But I have felt far better in my time than I do right now. I could really use a nap.
Oh, I think all of us could certainly use some well-deserved rest. Maybe Noel and Armand will have the beds prepped for us.
I think it's just as Quilliam
Maybe they've
says-
already tucked in for the night.
I think it's just as Quilliam and like Obi are discussing this. The door opens at the top of the stairs, and you hear it like thump closed. The slow, like kind of boom, boom, walking of feet down the stairs as you hear the distinctive voice of Maina echoing into the basement, like, "Oh, I don't believe it! I don't believe it! Are the group of you okay? Are the lot of you all right?"
Yeah, we're fine. What's up?
What's up? You killed 3 people up there. I mean, I've seen many terrible things in my time of running this place. I'm so sorry. I let those hooligans into my shop.
Oh, I do believe that those killings were not so much as a murder, more in the nature of a suicide on their part.
Or like self-defense, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, self-defense. Let's do self-defense. Yeah.
That's exactly what
Yeah.
happened. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna use a volatile term. You would self-defend when one of these hooligans come into my shop and attack you. It's not right.
Yeah, I self-defended that guy with the bar stool, you know?
Yes, don't worry about that stool. It's very old, but
Very
I mean,
proactively.
Yes, you self-defended yourself quite hard, Holly.
I mean, you know, he was definitely gonna hurt Odella, so we had to do something.
Oh, I agree.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I'm a running this business for a very long time. This Don Clamaro is no good. The storm
no good.
shadows, the trouble, they're all over the city. And I'm afraid that the Perch Guard, they no give 2 feathers.
Really? The authorities here aren't helping you?
They're corrupt. I'm telling you, Quilliam, they're no good.
Yeah, they're super corrupt. Yeah, super easy to corrupt. Very corruptible.
Yeah, they're so corruptible. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a very,
Not
very
that I would
sorry-
know how to corrupt police officers or anything. Not that I whatever. We don't need to. Very corruptible, but not by me.
Oh my God, you got a snail on your shoulder, girl.
Oh yeah, Shelby.
You
Yeah.
can't eat that one.
Yeah, don't eat this one.
What if I buy it? I'm not like escargot
how-
so much, but I'm gonna make
never mind.
good money on this.
No, we like
No.
this one.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, we got ourselves a problem. I'm very ashamed. I want to give to you shelter and a succor. I would like very much to keep you here in my home, keep you safe for the night. But as we speak, this Perch Guard, they come looking for you, and maybe it was a self-defense, but I think that maybe they try to say it is a murder, and I think that maybe also the storm shadows, they come back.
Well, why don't
So
we
just
just
to
stay
get
down
it
here?
clear, we're currently.
Austin, yeah.
So just to get it clear, Odella, we were trying to come in and stay under the radar, and we've ended up now wanted for murder? Just to get it all as clear as day.
Yes, that appears to be what's happened, yes.
I'm so sorry. I should have never let something like this happen in my place of business. It's not right. You are good
It's not-
people.
It's really not your fault, Maynard. It's well, I guess
And
it's
also
the
not
Storm
our
Shadow's
fault.
Perhaps I was a little for getting a little too proactive in our self-defense. So I gotta say, this is a new experience. We worked very hard in the Volters to avoid this kind of reputation. So it looks like neither of us will be going back to Soldiers Port anytime soon. You probably had the right idea to stay out of this place.
Richard,
Well, personally, I think Marshview is far nicer than Salter's Port. Hasn't been the greatest experience of my life being here.
Richard, are there barrels down here? Any barrels?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just trying to find 4 barrels that would fit all 4 people. Food might be particularly tricky for Quilliam and very easy for Holly.
I think that Maina at this point, she's like gone, and you see her, she reaches and like pulls a basket down off kind of one of the rafters, and she's sort of putting around as you're like examining the barrels, Odella. She's like stuffing stuff into this basket, loaves of bread and hunks of bug cheese, and yeah, she's just kind of like walking around. You see her get a bottle, she puts a couple of brown bottles in there, and then she's taking kind of like a handkerchief and wrapping it up. And she's like, what do you do? What do you do with these barrels? No. I'm a maybe.
We gotta get all the stuff out of these ones so we can hide.
No.
Yeah. I'm starting to tip over a barrel.
Oh, murder me! What are you
I'm not fully tipping it over yet, but I'm slowly.
Snails go everywhere.
Which one shall be? Oh no.
Yeah.
Pick a snail out of a snail pile. I think that Maina's like, listen up, we got a one chance. This place, before I buy it, it'll belong to pirates. There's an escape tunnel on the way down here. It'll bring you down to the coast. Now, maybe it's not a very nice. It's a dark and it's a damp down there, and probably there's some mildew and maybe a couple of spiders. But the fact of the matter is, nobody may become a looker for you down there. So you may be helping me move these barrels. Come on. And I think she goes over to you and starts like trying to roll a barrel, but she's an old woman, you know.
Oh, it's rather exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, Obi jumps up and helps as sort of quickly and efficiently as possible to move the things out of the way.
It's actually like easy enough, Obi, you know.
Let me give you a hand.
With your leg, you're able to kind of get the barrel, the one like kind of near where Odella is actually, and you start moving it out of the way, and sure enough, you see that there is a hatch on the floor, a very simple hatch, right? And so I think that she takes the basket and like shoves it in your hands, Quilliam, and she's like, here, I'll give you the bottle of whiskey. Don't drink it all in one place. I know you have a little problem with that, but I'm a very smitten with you, if I'm gonna be honest. And maybe here, you take this. Mr. Knoll is going to take care of your friend Almond, okay? I'm going to take care of your friends. They are in no trouble because they were not here for self-defense. But here, maybe you take these too.
Please keep them out of it as much as possible. Like, if you need to say that they don't even know us, like, to that degree. This is out of hand already, and last thing we need is to blow back on our friends.
If you do have an opportunity to talk to Noel, I would. He's knowledgeable. He'll look after Almond, I hope.
Listen to me. This old Mr. Knoll, I'm not so sure how you make friends with him, but he's a good man, and he's telling me a little bit about what you do, maybe. So I'm going to give you these. They belonged to my husband once. I'm going to keep them for all these years, but they're quark seeds. Quark, he was a good man, but I wanted you to take them, and maybe you plant them in the ground, maybe they do something good for you on your trip. They have a little bit in them of that old magic.
Take those.
Are you selling us magic beans?
No, I'm just give them to you. Not on me with you.
Well, thank you. Much appreciated.
Listen, you all need to move very quickly. You follow the tunnel, it's go all the way down. When the tide she gets low, you see the entrance out. It's very easy. It's right there. There's a big pool. Maybe you jump out, or maybe you take a rope. So I don't know what you do from here, but you please be careful.
Oh, we will. And
should we be worried about the tunnel being flooded?
No. It's a go all the way
along
down.
Those lines?
Just maybe when the tide is up higher, there's the water at the bottom.
Okay.
And you look after
keep an
yourself
eye out on the water
too. And Quilliam will just kind of reach up and give her a little peck on the cheek Just a little
Woo!
kiss on the chin.
Oh.
Which is probably look because he has to get really high up on his tippy toes,
Yeah,
I'd say, because Quilliam's quite small.
Yeah, she's a little like hunched over and squat too with her many years of age, you know. And I
Yeah.
think that she like grabs your hand, Quilliam, like, I'm not to forget you. You take care of these children.
It's likely I'll forget you. I forget a lot of things.
Well, that's a fine. As long as one of us are remembers, then our love affair will live on.
That's can be the story you tell if you like. That's no problem.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And I think that with that, she's like patting each of you on the back, like, please be careful. I'm gonna have old man and Noel. He's gonna find you. He's gonna get your friend out of here. They'll be safe. I promise. I promise.
If you ever need to contact us, just whisper to the insects and they'll know.
That sounds very strange, but for some reason I believe you, Quilliam.
They might not tell anybody, but they'll know.
That's very sensible now that I think about it. Make haste, my friends. I wish you well. And so I think
Goodbye.
she ushers the four of you down, right? And there's this kind of like wooden ladder. It's very like old and rickety that goes down about like 15 feet, lowering you into what's like a pretty wide tunnel. You're at the end of it, but it's legit like a solid 15, 20 feet wide. Like you're surprised by the size of it. The height itself also about 15 feet. This tunnel is not natural earth. It is laid stone down here at the bottom. And you could see that there are like columns of support on the edges and arches holding up the earth overhead. And I think that there's like this last moment of the four of you kind of looking up the square hole of like the yellow light, Mayna's face like kind of dangling over. And she's like, I'm so sorry about everything. Good luck. And with that, her face kind of vanishes as the hatch closes, dim, like kind of like beams of light shining down between the cracks of the boards. And you hear the sound of like the barrel kind of like grinding across the wood above you. And then I think you just hear, oh, son of a bitch, I'm going to need to go get a young man to move this barrel. I should have thought of that. And then she starts to like shuffle away.
Does everybody have dark? Does everybody have dark vision?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I hope so.
I think it's only the
Mapach. I will light a hooded lantern.
How do hedges not have dark vision?
Yeah, we've had this convo that like all our animals are nocturnal and just don't all
have dark vision. Yeah, the birds I understand, but yeah.
And then so light the hooded lantern, and then just like, what do you think the pilots built this for? So pilots used to own this place. I don't even know what a pilot is.
I think it's what happens when a production are just trying to pitch a production and it hasn't actually fully gone into the full story yet. It's like a taster of a
And they
play.
would test it down here?
Oh yeah, in smaller venues, I believe.
Yeah. It might
And
also
then
be
if investors are interested, they will take it to bigger places and maybe put on more of a show.
I think it's actually like a light in a heater, and sometimes
yes, we actually had a
It's actually a pastry with reduced sugar content. Pie light.
Mm-hmm.
So bad.
Can I take inspiration away from myself?
You have disadvantage on your next.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah.
How is everybody feeling? I mean, we probably should keep moving, but we can sit down and rest and relax for a while. Obi, are you hurt?
I'm pretty rough. The ankle's not happy. And I think my faculties as a whole are lagging a little bit.
Well, why don't we just sit down and relax for a little bit? Take a short rest. Get get our bardic friend back on his feet before we venture off into the cave.
I think
of
I'd
highlights.
prefer a longer rest if we could. Actually,
I don't know if we have the time.
We shouldn't do it right underneath the hatch. Should we
Yeah, we
move
should probably keep
further
going
in?
first.
Yeah.
Yes, particularly with that light you
that's
have.
true.
Rich, I don't know. I feel like on my sheet, like I was tracking, I think my HP on my token, and so I don't know actually if I am what my HP is.
You're right. I'll put you back here on the map with these
It
tokens.
says I have full HP, so that's great.
Oh no, we're back in the bar.
Okay.
So the group of you want to move a bit
Round
away
two.
from under the hatch? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll move
Holly
in
might still have
further.
a jump on her.
Yeah.
Boing, boing.
So with Odella, with like the bullseye lantern sending this like gleaming kind of like beam of light down, the group of you begin to walk. It's very like kind of damp in here. The smell of like moist earth, like filling your nostrils, right? The air kind of like muggy but cool. It's got this like, you know, bite in it while it's still very like heavy and moist. And so you walk for probably like 10 or 15 minutes or so. It's gradually like pitching down. It's not directly straight. Sometimes you bend a little bit, but you've gotten a ways where like there's been a little bit of a twist to the tunnel. You can't like see your way back to where you've come from. You hear, I think, coming from like the distance, the sound of like the waves, very muffled, right? But the crashing of the waves on the shore, that rhythmic, almost heartbeat, just kind of like echoing its way up through here. There's that tang of like brine and salt and fish in the air, right? But yeah, if you want to like hunker down in this tunnel right here and sleep, rest.
What's the weather like outside? Can I gauge that? Can I gauge if it's windy, stormy from the sea and everything like that? Via Druidcraft, because I can do that.
Yeah, drop Druidcraft in the chat. I think that you can just like tell stuff, right?
Yeah, you get like the
I
weather for the
believe
next 24 hours.
Yes. I'm checking the weather forecast.
Rain, storm clouds outside. It had rained a bit like on your way into Salter's Port, and then like that afternoon it actually got like kind of nice. The clouds blew out, but I think as you conjure your magics, and you can like sense it in your old bones, Quilliam, you know, the humidity in the air, it's even more so than it would be. The twist of the wind echoing through the tunnel, like a storm is brewing out there.
I have it in my mind that Quilliam sends a tiny little fly out from his quills, and all he's hearing is, "Well, Quilliam, it's not looking very good from up here. The clouds are coming in on a southeasterly direction, and I think we're going to be seeing rain come sunshine. Okay, thank you. Back over to you, Quilliam. Bye-bye." And that is how Quilliam checks the weather with via Druidcraft.
Got it. I love it.
And what's the name of your weatherfly?
That's
he's
it.
He's gotta have like
actually in B.
He's gotta have like a weather man. He's gonna be like Buzz Storm Man, you know?
Exactly. Buzz Wind Watcher.
That was the original concept for Buzz Lightyear. Buzz Storm Man. His name is Squall.
There you go.
That's a good one.
We love a squall.
Squall the weatherfly.
Ooh, fancy.
We do love a squall.
Rich, can I clarify? So there's like a path, and there might be some water, and then we have to get to the cave?
So you're in a tunnel, like leading down to kind of like the shore, right? You don't see anything. Like it's just this dark tunnel in both directions. You can hear the ocean out on one side. There was discussion about the fact that some of the bandits got their hands on the horn, and that that like the captain at the Marguerite Rose, which was the magic shop you guys stopped at, knew that the cave was like nearby here. I think what Noel had told you when you guys like left last split up right at the beginning of last session was like, maybe don't worry about that. Like, we got to get to Magni's hold. Let's split up. Like, let me get eyes on what's happening here with the bandits in the cave. You guys should press north for the forest and we'll split up here. Like, the plan was you were going to like divide here with Noel anyway. Right. So it's up to you guys what you want to do. But Noel had suggested he would try to go like get eyes on whatever's happening with the bandits here, and that they were certainly going to try to like get the horn to the necromancer. So it might be worth like fast tracking to Magni.
I mean, I don't really fancy hanging around a town where an entire thieves guild are going to be after us.
And the perch
Maybe-
guard.
And the perch guard, indeed. And I think I might have accidentally made some promises to that innkeeper that I don't think I want to or will be able to fulfill. So, I,
Scoundrel.
for one, well, you don't get to my age without breaking a heart or two. I, for one, would be in favor of seeing the back of Salter's Port.
I'll have to ask you more about those stories later. I'm curious.
Oh, I could tell you a thing or two. But not tonight. So,
I do love a story. Well,
I say we leave. I mean, Noel and Armand, and they're not they're not involved in what happened in the inn. They could do more here than we could.
it's true.
Yeah.
That is true. I just wish I had a means of being able to communicate with them, let them know directly, be able to stay in touch. If we were close, I could, but not over long distances.
Well, I'm sure you could write a letter to Miss Magmemin, whatever her name was. I've forgotten it completely. I really
Maina.
should take Maina.
Mhm.
With Miss
Maina.
Maina. If you write a letter, I'm sure Miss Maina could get
You really
it to
are
them.
a scoundrel, Quilliam.
No, just incredibly
We
forgetful.
saw her like 5 minutes ago and you've already forgotten her name.
Who?
A kiss and it's gone.
Who did I kiss? Who are you?
I really wouldn't have
Where
taken
am
you
I?
for such a...
Why are my feet wet?
Who am I?
Quilliam, I'm going to give you a list of words, and I'd like you to repeat them back to me.
Oh, this got very tragic very quickly. Humbleyuir, the adventure to stop Quilliam's dementia.
So, well, one thing. So I have.
I don't have greater restoration yet. We need to go on a few more adventures.
So if we wanted to try, we could try to get a note back to. I mean, we should have just told Maina, but we could try to get a note back to the inn. Like, so I mean, I have two things. So I do have a disguise kit. I also have as an urchin bear, city secrets. You know, secret pattern flows to the cities. I can find passages through the urban sprawl that others would miss. I can travel between any two locations in the city twice as fast as my speed would normally allow.
It'd be cool if we had a map of Salter's Port, huh?
Hey.
Hey.
Um,
Also, that would probably imply that you could do it. I don't know if we could.
Yeah, I know. There are a bunch of districts. Cool transition.
Cool.
It's not bad,
amazing.
right? So there's a bunch of districts in Salter's Port. Most of it is risen up on this tall rock. This kind of whole passage is like incrementally like higher and higher. So Maina's was in the cloud ring here, kind of. And ultimately, you guys, Grace, I think especially, your urchin feature, you would know that ultimately, like, you're taking a tunnel that's going to, like, lead you down and out over here, right? It's cutting, like, underneath the height of the city and going to drop you down at the coast, if that's helpful. But certainly using your urchin features, you can move around the city, like, very quickly, like, you know, in parts mostly unseen, should you want.
The other piece, the other thing we could do,
It's only 65 feet. Look,
Yeah.
so you measure it.
the other piece we could do is like find somebody in the cloud ring, on the cliffside. Just find some random person and give them gold to deliver the letter to the inn.
Quilliam,
Well,
didn't
what-
you
I
thing with
am
bugs
worried
before?
about
Right.
involving people,
Well,
especially
yes.
those that we don't know.
Yeah, but
Yes,
there's
I-
very
I-
corruptible people in this town. That would be extremely corruptible.
Yes, but if they're corruptible by us, and we aren't exactly the most,
You can
the
totally
most
corrupt people for
corrupt
good.
people around.
You
But
can do it for
if
good
they will
and
be
bad.
corrupted by us, then they're. I don't know if it quite works like that, Adela.
Again,
I
I don't
could
know the
always
definition
just-
of corrupt, but you could do it for good and bad. So,
Well, I could ask Delilah to send a message.
It's
oh,
mm,
who's Delilah? You got a lot of ladies.
Oh, this is Delilah, and another little gnat just pops up.
no, it
and
was
rests on his
Maina,
shoulder.
William. It was Maina.
I'm not going to dignify that with an answer.
I would really like the next 3 hours to just be us all like sitting around hearing
Sure,
Quilliam's
sure.
love stories of.
I mean,
you know,
you're in a
days gone by.
tunnel, Melissa.
Yeah.
You know what you have to do. You know,
love.
You just
Yeah, I would like us to wait until high tide comes in. Oh no, we're
I
trapped in
am
the tunnel. What do we do
ready.
to pass the time? Oh no.
Quilliam and Orville need to meet up and trade war stories.
So you can send a message, William.
I can. Well, I can ask Delilah here to find a person and deliver a message, and I'm going to drop it into the chat to see if it's a viable option. I don't believe I've used this. I've used it before in the campaign, but I think I have taken a long rest since I've used it before. Animal
Yeah,
Messenger.
definitely.
I know you have sent a message back to Marshview after you left.
I have. I've sent Mama Luna a gnat.
So you're going to send this message to who exactly? To Almond, to Null?
Yeah, I guess right. That's.
Who would be
thinking we're
less
gonna leave
freaked
and-
out by a gnat coming up and
Almond
talking
seen
to
you
them?
do it before.
Almond, yeah.
Good point.
uh-huh.
I shall send it to
Yeah.
Almond,
Okay.
Now-
who is staying in that bar place.
Are we going to check out the cave with the horn?
Or are
just
we
trying
going to
leave
Magnus
Salter's Fort?
Hold?
I thought we decided we were leaving Salter's.
Yeah, I thought we were leaving Saltersport.
I
Because
mean,
we have
yeah.
2 factions after us now. Is this
Holly's
the same?
just putting it out there that, like, you know, cave
So-
sounds fun.
Cave does sound fun, but if we're splitting up,
Cave
we'll
does
leave
sound-
Can I-
Almond and
and the cave was
Go ahead, Austin.
where the storm shadows were hanging out, correct?
correct.
But can I ask? Is the idea was that Noel was going to go check
That they
because we
stolen?
presumed that the horn was going to be transported to Magnus Hold anyway. Is it that's the whole point why Noel was going to go check it out anyway?
The read
Yes.
that you got is like originally there, Rollins Corn, right? The like rogue perch guard was trying to steal the staff from Marshview. They were trying to get the horn here, and they're trying to bring all
Corrupted
of this
good.
stuff to the necromancer, right? So Noel is like presuming that like they're not going to keep the horn here, and the necromancer's probably not coming here because the stuff that he's concerned with is like up north in the forest. So Noel's speculation was they're going to try to move the horn, and if I can get eyes on them, then we can like hit them while they move. I can like try to like get word back to you, right? So it's up to you guys, right? Like, not Melissa is like definitely on point. If you want, you could go looking for this cave. But she's
very
trying,
well
like,
could.
desperately to derail me. Yeah.
But
You're
But I
fine.
do
Like,
believe
honestly,
that-
like
We shouldn't leave it on Almond. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I do believe first and foremost we need to get somewhere to sit down and safely rest.
Isn't it just in
And
this tunnel?
I don't think we're going to do that when we're near this city.
Hmm.
I think Odella, as somebody that
I'm
like
more
has
than
spent a
happy to
lot of
put
time. Oh, go for it.
Many
Austin.
miles between us in this place.
I think
I'm
particularly.
more than happy to move on. I clearly.
I think, yeah, like particularly.
Sorry,
Odella-
everyone. I don't
You're
know why I'm
fine.
lagging
I'm so
badly.
sorry, Austin. Yeah.
You're good.
technical difficulties. It's like the nature of the beast. I think
I think
Odella.
he's making it work well.
Yeah, I think
Just like
Odella's.
to really, really contemplate your answers.
Yeah, really. You have a bead on the fact that like this tunnel is not a place you're super familiar with, and you know this city like in and out pretty well. Like even I think as the group of you are moving through it, there's a lot of cobwebs. It's not like a trafficked place, you know. Certainly like it seems to only like lead up into Mayna's basement. You're not like really looking for any other ways out as you go. So it seems like, you know, mostly secure at least. That's the impression that you have, Odella. Like, you know, there's plenty of like bolt holes and places that you've like hidden and like spent nights here living rough in Saltersport. And like, you don't expect that this is a place that like there's going to get a lot of foot traffic or anything like that, you know?
Let's rest up here.
It's a little bit dank for Ada. Like
this is also. We can survive, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
I mean,
we could, but do we
I
really
prefer
want to bed down
bed,
here?
but
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get that regardless.
Well,
we'll just
what do you
keep watch.
think, Holly? I mean, are you happy sleeping here?
Yeah, I'll sleep anywhere, you know. I'm used to kind of cramped spots. It's fine. I don't know. I'll keep watch. I don't really need to rest much, but...
Well, very well.
I don't
William
think
curls
I do
up in a
either.
ball.
I don't think I get anything back from a long rest.
Oh,
But I don't want to be exhausted, so we
Yeah.
could.
We're gonna have to do it anyway, but
I guess we're bedding down in this dank, dark cave.
I'm
Or
pretty much tapped
tunnel.
in my capabilities. And
Yeah, I'm reaching the bottom.
this ankle, I need to rest it, or I'll do permanent damage again.
Okay. So is Miss Holly going to take watch for a little bit while everybody rests? Go ahead, Austin. Yeah.
One thing I want to just sort of keep an eye out for, like as we're sort of moving down this tunnel and sort of looking for a space, with Obi's dark vision, this was like a pirate tunnel, right? So like it's not impossible. There might be like little like tucked away corners and such forth, especially anything that might be like upwards. It's kind of hidden, like trapdoors in the ceiling or anything like that. That's kind of hidden out of the way. Is there any way I can kind of like make a scan for any like hidden pockets or like hidden caches of anything interesting? I've heard tales and stories about these kinds of things, I assume.
Can I help with my
and just kind of out of curiosity of somewhere that might be drier or anyway.
And you want to help Grace out?
With my knowledge
ahead,
of like
Grace.
thieves' cant and coded messaging, that sort of stuff.
Sure. I think we see Obi like kind of like peering around, looking up, maybe like walking a little bit further down the tunnel, like examining the walls, looking up high. And like you catch sight of him, Odella, and like kind of like mosey up next to him as the pair of you are scanning the place. So Obi, make an investigation check with advantage as you and your sister kind of examine the tunnel to see what
Geez, I
lies.
forget I'm not good at this kind of stuff.
You
Let's see
should have
how we go.
swapped. Yeah.
I know how
Unless
it
it's
goes.
better for
No,
would
you started to
allow
do it.
us to like as Ode notices. I started it. Damn it! All right,
You're fine. You're
let's see
fine.
how we go.
Yes.
Yeah, see?
Oh well, there we go. 21.
21. I think, Obi, as you're like moving a little bit further down the tunnel towards the coast, the sound of like the waves getting just like faintly louder the kind of further you go. I think that you're kind of like surprised to note as you go, like, oh gosh, look, there is in fact what looks like another shaft leading upwards towards like the street above. There's no light emanating down from it, and this one actually has like kind of metal rungs that are wedged into like the chute, like a ladder to take you up. You would need like a little bit of a boost or something to get to the bottom rung, you know, as it's like a couple of feet up above the ground.
Good thing It's a good thing I got 20-foot climbing speed to just kind of crawl my way along the along the sides to get to it.
Oh, sure.
or it's directly above like the center of the tunnel.
Yep.
Okay. I might sort of look to Ode and be like, "Are you up for a scramble?"
Always.
And give you a boost.
Hold on, are the two map patches, and by the way, the two, one with the torch and the two who can see in the dark, abandoning the two who
I left
can't?
the torch. I left the torch.
Okay.
The lantern is like sitting on the ground by Quilliam and Holly, kind of shining down the hall. They're standing in the light. They're not like so far away. They're like 20, 25 feet down the tunnel from you, right? You guys are not like, very distant.
Quilliam and Holly are like trying to kind of roll out bedrolls and trying to get ready for a rest, while the two map patches just scatter and just find a different shaft and off they go.
You have
Raccoon
noticed
shit.
this is not uncommon for me that when we're taking on that I like go find a tree, find somewhere like I go off. So this is not that unusual.
Yes, but you took your brother. Odella, you're a bad influence on Obi.
I love it. So I think that Obi, you like give Odella a boost. You kind of like vault her up, you cup your hands, she like steps in, you like heave her up. Odella, with like a quick hop, you're able to grab hold of the bottom rung pretty easily and scramble up this chute. There's like cobwebs tangling on your whiskers, catching on your ears as you go, but as you're making your way up to the top, you hear actually conversation. I think like getting up to the top, you realize the plate at the top, it's not a wooden hatch like it was at Maina's. Rather, it is a stone. And so there are like very faint, dim kind of light emanating around the edges. Now that you're up close, you could see where like the seams are around the edge where this thing is like sitting here. And there's just the faintest bit of like kind of street light, starlight trickling in from like the night above. I think you smell overwhelmingly powerfully fish, the aroma of like fish, and you know that they're like, they bring so much fish in this city. Like you're pretty sure you're like down near the market somewhere. And I think that you hear voices above. Let me have you make a perception check, Odella. 12. So I think that you just hear this like murmuring pair of voices, like amidst the kind of clanging of metal, what sounds like armored kind of people, perch guard, you might guess, having like known they're like typically the only folks walking around the streets in the middle of the night in like full armor, swords, all this kind of stuff. But the slapping of the kind of sword scabbard against the hip, the clanging of the armor, and the murmuring of like conversation, like, what do you know about all of this? And then I think that you hear the second voice back, like, I'm not sure. Aloysius, well, he told us that the Don is looking for them, and he thinks they might be the same lot that took care of the group on the road. So we're just to keep our eyes out. And I think you hear the second one, just like, that fool, Clamato. He doesn't know any better. Aloysius has him right where we want him. Oh, times are gonna change. Times are gonna change, my friend. As you hear like the pair of them, kind of their voices dwindling as they like are clearly walking down the road away from wherever this thing is.
Okay. Pass that info back on.
Okay, you're not trying to like lift the hatch or anything like that. You scramble back down and explain to Obi what you heard.
Mm-hmm. Let's call him Ode. Yeah, I call him Ode. Ob. Yep.
Oh, are you muted, Austin?
I am. Aloysius. Have we...
Well, I was wondering that too.
Have we heard that name before? Do you know an Aloysius? I don't recall it.
Mm-hmm.
Odella, I think you know that Aloysius Birch is the captain of the Perch Guard in the city of Saltersport.
Would relay that.
Carter making a move on the Storm Shadows.
you know what I'm listening? I'm listening to a D&D podcast where there's a character called Aloysius. So I got all my
Really?
D&D confused. Yeah.
Amazing. I was
Yeah.
like, I need a name that I haven't used. Aloysius is definitely one of those.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, I swear I've heard of Aloysius. I have, but yeah.
Totally different thing.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
So, with this information exchanged, apparently another hatch up to the city streets above. I guess the pair of you make your way back to like Holly and Quilliam, and who have like spread out bedrolls and the lantern kind of casting its glow in the hall. Yep.
No, the pair go looking for Almond.
Mhm.
Obi does his. Obi does his evening stretches, his whole routine of getting himself ready for bed. Like it takes like 20 minutes of like slow like stretches and exercises before he sort of settles down,
Working out that ankle.
curls up, and goes to rest. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are going to hunker down and long rest. Holly's taking guard for most of the night. What's the plan here? You're going to like divvy up Holly, like Odella?
Trade off. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
If they can somehow poke me awake through my spiny quills to wake me to go for a rest, they're welcome to try.
They need their own bag of fleas. Notably, Grace, you do have this bag of seeds that was given to you by Maina. It's kind of like heavy. It's a really sort of interesting thing in your pocket, but it's this sort of like ordinary looking purple pouch with these gold kind of like vines almost woven into it, embroidered into the thing. And yeah, you feel like a bunch of like big fat kind of seeds rolling around in your hand underneath it, inside of it, I should say.
Do either of you have so long since we played magic to know what to do with these? Could you hold out the like? Is it a bag?
If I had a pearl, I could figure out if there is anything notable about it.
Yeah, we gotta
But
get
I
one of
do
those
not
before
have
we
a
leave town.
pearl at present.
Hold on, describe this pouch again.
Yes.
It's a purple pouch with gold embroidery on
It is. That is Crown Royal. We were given a bottle. We've been given a bottle of Crown Royal.
There is notably also in the basket like 2 loaves of bread, a bottle of whiskey, a bottle of mead, and 2 fat wheels of bug cheese, blue and green.
I would maybe toss over the seeds to. I would say we should find you a pearl. But maybe for now, I don't know. You want to take a look at these, Quilliam? You have a garden. I've stolen from it many times. I toss the seeds.
Indeed have a garden, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, let me have a nosy. Quilliam shoves his little snout in and has a sniff and just trying to figure out and identify as much as he can about these seeds.
I think, Quilliam, you like sit there with the pouch for a bit, and as you sniff inside, you're overcome by like the aroma of like many seeds. You're smelling like seeds, like almost like orange blossom, citrus, things that don't belong here, things you're familiar with. As you like examine, I think you're able to like sit with the thing for a time, ultimately, without any kind of like rolls or difficulties. I think if you like spend the better part of like the hour looking at it as people are kind of falling asleep, you can discern pretty straightforward, Quilliam. These have been like passed around. They're used by druids. They're crafted by some. They are in fact called quarks. This is called quarks seed pouch. There are a multitude of different seeds inside, 8 of which, as you like stuff your hand in to like pull a seed out, basically you roll and randomly determine which of the seeds emerges, of which you then may plant them, and weird stuff happens. There are like a great variety of kind of effects that may occur from the variety of seeds within. Though certainly, you know, before you plant it, you'd be able to tell what kind of seed is this, what is it going to do. Yeah.
Wow, how this is very interesting. Oh, I cannot wait to tell them all about the Oh, well, I will be sure to give it back to Odella. But, well, maybe just one. And he just pulls out one seed, puts it in his pouch, and hands it back, and then hands the pouch back to Odella.
Oh no, you keep
Or
them.
just
Very notably, any of you can use this pouch. Anybody could like reach in and pull a seed out for whatever it's worth.
You keep them.
Are you sure, Odella?
Yeah.
I know you. I know you like keeping your trinkets and knickknacks about you.
No, it's okay. And actually, Odella's gonna start working on some scrounge craft before it's before it takes a long rest. And I would like to, if it's enough, I'd like to make a barrel to sleep in. Like, I'm very excited by the prospect of that barrel in maintenance. It only lasts like 10 minutes before it would just like. But,
Oh, I know. I definitely used scroungecraft to build manacles to tie somebody up a couple of weeks ago.
There is something. What is it that I can do to?
If you spend like an hour, or you could basically make it like permanent. If you spend like a bunch more time working on it, you can make whatever you build.
Oh, I have to spend 8 hours converting an item I've scrounge crafted. So
it's like the full day of real work. Yeah.
Okay, so it'll last an hour. I get to sleep in a barrel for an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Salter's Port and the coastline around here. When we spent a bit of time along the coast, if I recall right, on the walk from the shop.
You sure did.
Would nature-loving Quilliam have gotten the idea that there could be oyster bays anywhere around this area?
Absolutely, no question about it. There are 1,000,000% many oysters in the water.
Excellent. Obi, I overheard you saying that you might be in need of a pearl. Well, failing a jeweler's, which is unlikely to find around here, I believe the best place to find a pearl would be with an oyster. If you'd like, in the morning we could go and perhaps we could do some shucking, and we might get lucky.
Some what?
Shucking. Isn't that what you do with oysters? You shuck them? Or is that corn? I can't remember.
Both, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can shuck many a thing. Stick with me and you'll be shucking like you've never shucked before. I just wanted to make sure I got you correctly before. So, what do you think, Obi? Would you like to shuck with me?
Very grateful. I would love to shuck with you, Quilliam. I feel like you could show me a lot about how to shuck. From your long life experiences of, I'm sure, many a shuck along the way.
Oh yes. Well, you and I, we shall shuck to our heart's content in the morning.
It's like making the bear and like picture
like
oh shucks. Oh, I like cut my but I'm like not paying attention to the conversation.
Yeah. These shucking guys. Okay. Well.
You know the way you say a word often enough, it sounds really weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got there. Then
so we got there the first time I said it.
Yeah, then we kept going. I think that the night passes. Holly, you keep watch. Odella, your barrel is very comfortable until it falls apart. As you've like strung this driftwood together with like bits of old rope that breaks while you're sleeping after like an hour.
I feel a piece of wood just rolls up and smacks Quilliam in one of the head.
Exactly.
I think Holly's keeping watch, and she may have also maybe snuck the bottle of mead out of the.
Are you drinking the whole bottle of mead, Holly, or are you just sipping through the night?
I mean, like,
I have a passive perception of 17.
You're asleep.
You're asleep, old man.
You better roll something.
You're asleep, old man.
I am a perceptive old hedgehog.
That shucking wore you out.
Let you drink. Put it this way: it's either you roll, or I'm not sleeping and I'm not getting spells back to heal y'all.
Oh,
I
man.
think that you can make a stealth check with advantage. Quilliam's asleep. Like,
Yeah.
I'll give it to you that, like, maybe the clinking of bottles might, like, trigger something in the back of his little hedge brain that wakes him up. But I think I
Come on,
gotta,
Rich.
like...
I just want to make her earn it. That's it.
I know. I think I gotta give you advantage, though, Holly. And you're not in your heavy armor,
I'm not,
right?
No, I am in my armor. It's I'm in chainmail like normally. It's just not Brigida's. So I think advantage disadvantage cancels out to an even 16.
No, it's a 17 because you rolled the 17 first, right?
True.
Oh, is that? Yeah, sure.
Hold on. If it meets, it beats. But in which direction?
She got the 17.
I'm the roller.
Yeah, she's
roll.
the roller. She wins on the match. Yep.
All right. I'd like to imagine there's just this like his whiskers kind of twitch as he pulled the cork from the bottle, and then just.
Oh my gosh, the efforts that dear Quilliam has taken to keep Holly away from the spirits.
Are you gonna do the trick of refilling it with water or something?
Hey, you were the one. You were the one
Like
who had
salt
her
water,
engage
too,
with the
from
spirit, Rich.
That's true. I'm just stirring it up, Grace.
This mead has suddenly gotten very salty for some reason.
Salted caramel mead. Holly, you may drink to your heart's content of the mead. Yeah.
I think that despite, her enthusiasm, she is taking her watch very seriously. So she'll drink some, but she won't drink to the point that she can't keep watch.
Okay. So she sips the mead gently over the hours. You were able to wake Odella up through the night. I think that ultimately the group of you are able to garner a long rest. There are no terrible predators. There are no storm shadows, and the perch guard are not down here in this tunnel. It seems a pretty secure area, perhaps noteworthy to you. But yeah. I think that over the course of the 8 hours, slowly she'll be waking up in the morning. Odella kind of already awake, having taken the last watch. You guys tell me.
Well, Quillian had to get up to go pee in the night about 6 times. So,
of course he did. Yeah.
But he somehow manages to get. Yay! Is that a long rest? Can I get
that's a long rest?
Back?
You get all your stuff
back. Into
back.
the campaign, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Austin hunting for that pearl for 6 freaking sessions. I'm just like, oh, did I bring you to the city? Sorry, you're hunted.
No, we're going shucking. Come on. We're gonna spend it. We got to spend at least an hour along the coast.
We're gonna go shuck.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be very unlikely we find a pearl worth 100 gold or something.
How much gold do we have as a group? How much gold do we have?
100 gold.
I have none. I have none.
You have 100 gold, or because we need one worth 100 gold.
I have 22.
I think we spent all of it at the shop.
Yeah.
I have 10 gold.
I have 9, so we don't have 100. I was gonna make, because I could do this guy's kid travel through the city, go try and buy a pearl, but we don't even have enough gold for it.
True. Sorry.
Well, maybe
we
if we
talked
just
about it when
get
we
a
were
collection
at the captain's, but decided. We decided that it was worth spending the money we had on useful items that would sort of be more unique perhaps than things we could find otherwise, and perhaps that we would be able to find something valuable that we would luck out along the coastline here. But
I mean,
we'll
it's
see.
worth a shot, right?
I mean, let's just take a coastal road on the way to Magni's.
Always
keep our eyes peeled. I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn or anything like that, but I have a fair understanding of the life cycles of oyster bays. I'm sure we can have a look. I don't know where my accent's gone. I've suddenly gotten very posh altogether, haven't I?
Indeed, you have. Yeah.
Brushing off on you.
Okay, I'm back.
So, what do you guys want to do? You all gather up in the morning. You fully reset. You can get your new spells back, all your hit points, hit dice, all that good stuff. Everything's reset, reloaded.
I think we want to go down to the coast.
I have to choose my spells.
Yeah. Down to the coast, try to find, if we happen to find a pearl, and then circle back around to Get on the road to Maggie's?
Did we decide when we sent the bug, the animal, that what we were actually set? Did that happen?
No, that never. But that actually never happened.
Yeah, because we never decided whether we were going to the cave
have.
or not going to the cave.
What would have been said? Yeah.
Hello, almonds. Quilliam here. We are all going to Magni's hold to continue the mission. You and old Noel stay here. Find out about Horn.
That's 25. This man's like a surgeon talking to bugs. Bug whisperer.
Like a surgeon who's first for hello, almond. It's
yeah.
A surgeon who talks to bugs.
Yes.
You find out about horns. Surgeon. We're gonna go shuck it. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Shucking in horns.
And break.
So, with the message having been sent, the group of you kind of gathering up your packs, making your way.
Can we say we sent that before we had the long rest?
Yeah.
Thank you.
This was the last night. This is the flashback.
We're going shucking, right?
Yeah. We'll give Austin a moment as the group of you making your way forward. The walk is like another 20 minutes or so, basically through this tunnel, as it were. The way very consistent with what you've seen so far. This worked stone passage. It's very wide. It's very regular. It looks very well crafted, surprisingly.
Holly, are you okay? You're walking a little bit funny this morning.
Yeah, I'm fine.
You hiccups?
Yeah, it happens in the morning, sometimes you gotta stretch out. You get all compressed when you sleep and everything gets all bunched up and gurgly and you gotta, stretch back out. And sometimes there's just,
I don't believe that's how it works, but you do you.
Oh, yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works. In Saltersport, that's how it works, yeah.
Well, when in Saltersport, do as the Saltersportians do. Saltportidians.
Yeah, that was my thinking too, actually.
Yeah. Salt porters. Okay. So I guess we're just gonna keep walking up until this beautifully artisanally built place comes to an opening, I guess.
Yep, you are.
I guess we'll keep our eyes peeled for any other kind of off ramps or any other.
I think
patches.
Pilots are excellent architects.
Yeah, they really are. These pilots did good work. I think notably, Quilliam, your ears pop to attention as you hear the water, the waves growing louder each couple of steps you take, right, as you're coming. And finally, you see the light streaming in what is this big opening out to the bay in front of you. You could see the kind of brownish rocks, the almost sandstone kind of cliffs of the shore around you, the sound of water lapping. You hear the cawing of gulls in the distance. All of you are kind of blinking for a minute at the brightness of the light piercing this dark tunnel that you guys have been walking in through the morning. Yeah, and I think you, Quilliam, you hear voices outside from you can't see anyone yet. All you see is you're looking straight out of this tunnel is water and rocks. If you want, you can roll a perception check, Quilliam. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that. Perception.
Lock in on a little bit of specificity.
I was about to say I'm pretty perceptive, but I rolled a 2. So that'll be 9 in total.
Did. So you hear voices, though, over the sound of the crashing water. It's hard for you to discern what they're saying, and you don't see anybody very, obviously, right? As you're, blinking through the bright light of the darkness and your eyes acclimating.
It's very bright. Hush, everybody. I think
Oh, hushing won't help the brightness at all.
No,
Yeah.
there are people. I hear voices. Hush up, and have a listen.
So it's not just me. Everything does seem like weirdly bright this morning and like really loud.
Yes, incredibly loud. It's very, very bright. Cover your eyes, Holly.
So I'm gonna say the group of you are about like 20 feet from like the exit, right? You can like keep going. What do you want to do?
You hear something, Quilliam? You hear something?
I do. I
Let me-
cannot make out what they're saying. Though.
Let me try. I'm gonna
Have a
try to
listen.
sneak up and have a little listen.
Okie doke. Odella, let us have you make stealth check.
19.
Very, very, very nice. What I'm going to do is this and this and this. You, Odella, as you come creeping forward towards the mouth of the cave. How about I put you on this here new map?
It's a map.
Bing! You are up here at the top as you come kind of prowling forward, tucked up against the wall. As you get to the edge, you spot this bay of water underneath you. There's all these kind of like shattered columns rising up out of the water. You can see how like clearly it is low tide, that during high tide, you like have seen this space before from the city above, that the water would kind of flood into this bay that's down underneath you. But right now it's kind of like an isolated pool because the tide has receded enough that you hear these voices coming from the other side, and you see what looks like a kind of frog person sitting like far distant from you, a solid like kind of 160 feet away on the other side of the bay. They're sitting there with a fishing pole, and they've got like this kind of basket next to them where I do think you see a mound of like shells glistening in the sunlight, and they're looking to kind of the left side of the entrance to this cavern, and calling back kind of across the water like, nope, I haven't seen anybody. This is a great fishing spot in morning when the tide is down because they all, well, I mean, they're trapped. It's they can't go anywhere. And then I think you hear, Odella, like off to your right, the left of the entrance of the cave, these voices calling back, like, are you sure of it? Huh, old man? We're looking for hooligans, dangerous ones, murderers, done been killing out in the streets of Saltersport last night. Angry bunch. And the perch guard is with us, and you don't want to be making them angry, old boy. And I think that this like frog guy on the far side is like, no, really, I haven't seen anybody. I don't know what you're looking for or what you're talking about. I live down here by the docks. I just came down to go fishing this morning. And I think you hear like the voices kind of chattering with themselves for a minute, like, what should we do? I'm not sure. And one of them like, well, you take it up with your boss. I have to get back to Aloysius. I did my due diligence down here. If you want to leave, well, you can take it up with the Clamato. Yeah.
I am I think in some of my like sleuthing around the city in the days, I think that I like have developed with at least some people, some of my like closer friends, if I even would have friends, like hand signals to like describe like people and like object and whatever. And so I'm doing that to the folks behind me, but they have no idea what I'm trying to do. So I'm like like baseball symbol, like the coat. I'm basically like doing that, like behind me. Yeah. And so just like, this whole thing, and they have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah. The snail like on your shoulder is like,
yeah,
very slowly kind of watching your hands as they're all like flying around and such.
Holly, do you have any idea what she's doing?
Yeah, I think she's telling us that there are 4 trees out across the way, and we need to like burn them down to get through.
I see.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Okay, I'm very confused.
I would like look back and then right, and I would like start to sneak back and relay the information. Yeah.
So yeah, you're gonna come like sneaking back to the others. Yeah, like Obi conspicuously quiet as he's kind of like nursing his ankle, leaning up against the wall. Yeah,
He's doing his morning meditations.
yeah, really.
Is there somebody out there keeping watch? Do we have to try and sneak by?
No. Well, maybe. There's a frog who's fishing, and then I think there's like 3 people, but I can't really hear them. But they're off to the side. I don't know. It sounds like one of them maybe left, or maybe at least one of them is gone. I don't know.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm not all that eager to get into another fight. I feel we've been a bit bloodthirsty lately, and I try to avoid it. Why don't we just try and somewhat sneakily try and get out of this cave? And once we're along the coast, I think we're going to be safe.
I just don't really know how there's a way to sort of sneak out. It's just like a full cliff, like a ledge.
You want to bide your time?
I mean, I can make us very, very, very sneaky indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of small little creatures in the forest called weevils? Well, they've been showing me how to walk.
That's the copyrighted version.
Yes, I could show you how to do a weevil walk.
There was this in Salter's Port. There was this stunt act he would do, like Daredevils. I think it's called Evil Kweevil.
Evil Kweevil.
Yes, Kweevil.
I will be right back. I'm just refilling my drink.
He truly was the baddest of all the weevils. But no, genuinely, I can pass. I have passed without a trace, so I can put it on us if we want to get out here. I have a feeling that if we go out here, we're going to be attacked.
So wait, what about the trees? I thought we had to start a fire. What?
No trees. Mostly water, actually. So it'd be very hard to start a fire.
I thought it was weird. It is a coastline, but your symbols,
Yeah.
You are just out of sorts this morning, Holly. Did you not sleep well?
You get columns and trees mixed up in my sign language? I think so. And frog and fire mixed up.
They're that's how that works.
The signal for frog is very similar to the signal for fire.
Mm-hmm. It is. This frog is on fire.
I think any moment now, we'll get a bit of advice from Obi. What do you think, Obi?
Dear Austin, thank you for your patience as you're fighting through the
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, you were doing your morning meditating.
I was totally somewhere else for a minute there. I'm sorry.
When I'm doing my stretches, I'm just in the zone. If you aren't like concentrating on just every muscle, every increment of movement, then you're just going to, what's even the point?
Well, I believe that the way out has been unfortunately not barred, but is somewhat guarded. There are people out there. It's not as subtle as I was hoping it would be. So we might have a confrontation. I'm pitching that we might be able to sneak by.
See, but the only way to get out of this is in the water. We're gonna have to dip into the water, I think.
Well, I float, so that helps.
Do we wait for high tide?
That is not a bad idea.
Right. High tide. Yeah, that makes sense.
Can I draw craft and see how far away high tide is?
Sure, yeah. As you conjure your magics, I think that, we see this little like water skimmer leap off of your finger there, Quellium. I don't know what its name is, but as it races out, kind of like leaping over the edge onto the water, I think you get your radio signal back. Like, tide should be coming up in 4 hours, Quellium. The oysters look good down here in the bay, too, old boy.
Thank you very much, Patrick.
Patrick, I thought that was the other one. No problem, pal. We'll be back when you need us.
You thought that was it.
We want to wait 4 hours? Bide our time?
Well, look, I have no doubt that if those people out there
could.
are hostile to us, we could deal with them, let's put it that way, but I don't want to make Holly any more bloodthirsty than she already is.
I take offense to that. I am not bloodthirsty. I just like to defend myself.
Well, nobody can argue with that. What are we thinking, gang? Shall we just walk out? Shall we sneak out? Shall we wait for high tide and walk out when it's wet?
Even if one of them sees us, then even if they both see us, then one of them is going to walk back and alert them to where we are, and they'll be on our trail. So I feel like we should wait.
Wait and try to sneak out?
Mm-hmm.
I can do that, sure. I mean, we've already waited around.
Okay.
Yeah, we timed this really badly. Jeez.
Yes, I don't... Well, I'm sorry I needed to rest.
No, that's okay.
I think if we're going to take... No, it's fine. I think if we are going to try to make our way out, there's a rush, but there's no rush. It's only 4 hours. And if it's going to make our exit easier, then I don't see why we should rush it. We don't know what journey's ahead of us. What other dangers lie on the roads?
Well, very well. Well, let's post up here, have a listen for when the voices are no longer there. And if we're lucky, we might even get a bit of information. Okay. I'll take the first watch.
And so you decide to wait. And as the group of you hunker down in the darkness, just inside the entrance to this thing, kind of watching the sound of the ocean, the cawing of the seabirds, the wind filling this kind of atmospheric space as you sit watching the kind of pool outside, waiting slowly. I think that it's not long after an hour as you sit there that Quilliam, those keen old ears of yours, you hear the voices from outside, just very succinctly, you know what? To hell with this. I'm not sitting down here all day. And the other one but Clamato. And I think you just hear the first one he's not checking up on our homework. Let's just throw the bottles in there and get out of here. And the second one's are you sure? I mean, if we use the bottles and they're not there, I mean, what are we going to tell them? The first one's yeah. Yeah, you know what? You're right. That's a good idea. Let's hang on to them. And we'll just tell them we didn't see him down here because we didn't, right? That'll be true. Even if we leave a little bit early. And I just think you hear the second voice I could use some salted caramel. Right, let's go. And Quilliam, you hear the sounds of kind of footsteps walking away just barely over the surf. The scraping of kind of rocks and rubble. Yeah. And you get the impression that whatever was lurking just outside the door is left. Do you guys want to keep hanging out for a little bit?
Udella, I believe that we might be alone now, but do you think you can poke your nose out and have a little looky-loo?
Yeah.
You're far more adept at it than I am.
You want me make a stealth check, Rich?
Go for it, please. Yeah. Oh, yeah, 17. Yeah, no, yeah. As you get towards the door.
Rhea.
Nope, yep.
Yeah, Rhea's here.
Sorry.
No,
As you
fine.
get towards the entrance, peering out across the bay, you see the frog fellow with like his fishing pole over his shoulder, his basket tucked under one arm, and you just watch his back go as he starts walking, and he's like, humming to himself. There's
Sneak
always
attack.
two of me just hanging around. Yeah, he like wanders off. Yeah.
Oh, he's leaving.
Yeah, he's leaving. He's got like the
no.
pole over his shoulder, the basket tucked in one arm, and he's like walking away. He's done fishing for the day, it seems.
This is like a sliding doors moment. He could have been the greatest NPC of all time, and we're just watching him walk out of our lives.
Sounds like the coast is clear.
Frog now.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, coast is clear. So,
should we still be sneaky?
Still be sneaky? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's try and be sneaky about this until we get to the coast.
Okay. So, what does that mean?
Is there a way to? Is this side connected at all? Like, or is this like too high of a perch for? There's no like way around the whole thing, right?
You feel like probably Obi could try to climb up and around that way if you wanted. But and this walkway is going to lead you back up into town behind you, right?
Right. We want to get this way, right?
Right. Yeah. You want to get like straight down to the actual like coastline so you can cut around. Right. So if you were to go to your left, this path is going to bring you back up. And then there's like no easy way down here from there. You could try to go the other way, and this will get you like be able to get you around if you want.
But there's no easy way to get across that.
Not we just
so I didn't. Yeah. I'm just no. Yeah. Just making sure. Then I'm just like, and I just like.
Yeah. Ordella like jumping off the edge.
How?
Yeah. Quilliam will join, or Quilliam will jump and curl up into a ball on the way down. And cannonball.
So stealthy.
What are you asking, Austin?
I was going to ask how far down it was.
It's only about like 15 feet or so, and the water looks like pretty deep. You know what I mean? You're not like looking down at like jagged rocks. Like you feel very safe jumping off this. It's a high height, but it's not crazy high, you know?
Yep. Obi kind of takes a couple steps back, rolls the shoulders, sort of like, shakes out the legs a little bit with a little bit of a running jump. Leaps and like does 2 somersaults before diving straight down
in this like perfect form as Obi splooshes into the water. You're the last one up on the ledge, little Holly.
I'm coming. And she's gonna like run and jump in the water too.
Okay,
in her heavy armor.
The pack like jangling over your shoulder as little Holly throws herself. Yeah.
Can't Holly jump like a ridiculous amount? As well?
Yeah, I was just looking at that. My base jump is 30 feet, so I think it's still too.
Yeah. You could dash. The jump's not up anymore. You can't actually jump 100 feet like Quilliam hooked you up last time. But nonetheless, you can dash and like jump really far. I think you guys watch as like Holly goes like sailing over you, like little tail trailing behind. Yeah, you're like bloosh.
Yeah, she's like a flying squirrel almost for a second.
Go, Holly!
So yeah, I don't know exactly like where you guys are in the water. I kind of like get the impression it's something like that, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Obi, could you just give me a poke in the right direction, please? Or just somebody I just need a small bit of momentum and I'll float the rest of the way.
Obi kind of like sort of floats back up on his back, and with his like foot paw, he kind of like gives Quilliam like a little bit of a tap, but not like enough to like push him in the right direction, but also enough that he like rotates as you go.
You're like spinning as you go. Quilliam floating. I've done a lot of bathing of hedgehogs, and you guys are exceptionally buoyant, believe it or not. Those quills are hollow, and you float so nicely.
I'm lazy rivering this at the moment. Quilliam's just on his back, happily bobbing along. He's off like Holly can stand on his stomach if she wants. She doesn't want to get wet.
I think as the group of you are floating, you like make it way halfway across this bay. You can see all manner of kind of like the water is like notably kind of clear as the sun is shining down. I think you see the gray clouds of this storm that's coming, kind of like massing a little bit to the south, but there is still this kind of sunlight cascading down. It's one of these like, you know, you're standing in the sun, like well aware that this storm is approaching, but below you in the water is all manner of like seaweed. I think you see fish glimmering in the light as they dance around, mussels clinging to the edges of the columns with barnacles and the like. Yeah, and
Okay.
I think it's
Quillia.
Yep.
After suggesting, why don't we just stay here for the afternoon?
Anything,
the sun is shining, it's glorious,
shippable?
it's lovely. Yes, I was saying, Quillian will pick up a small kind of divining rod, like of a twig, and just kind of, and then focus, and then he shall cast Locate Object at level 2, and the object will be a pearl worth 100 gold pieces.
Amazing, Quilliam. Amazing. That's
I'll drop that in the chat. Hold on.
There you go. Druids helping bards. Love to see it.
Or whatever Austin is.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. It's Hedges helping Mapach.
Just mystery.
So if there is a
Everything at
pearl, but that is worth 100 gold pieces you needed, was it, Austin?
Yes, something quite pricey.
You
unfortunately.
hit your divining rod, pulls you
Good
to the
quality.
kind of like southwestern corner of this pool, and you are certain beyond a shadow of a doubt that there's a pearl there.
I have a hit. Follow me. Holly, poke me in that direction.
Follow me, but also poke me.
So I imagine I'm picturing this as Quilliam on his back floating with the divining rod above his head, with Holly just kind of pushing him and leg kicking like an outboard motor on the back of him, just pushing into the direction.
Yeah, I think it's like previously established that Holly's a pretty strong swimmer, so she's like
one of those little like kickboards.
Yeah,
exactly. Except it's a hedgehog.
As you are like surging towards the shore, you can see these like clusters of like mussels down around the rocks at the base of like that one column, Quilliam. The group of you floating, Quilliam, I think that you are the first to recognize as you see like at the edge of where the water is lapping up into the sand. As you're sort of approaching this column, the sand ripples for a moment. Like there's almost something underneath it. And then suddenly it surges and it begins to like rise up out of the ground, forming and coalescing into this vague kind of anthropomorphized shape rising up out of like the side of this bay in this big sloughing mass of muddy sand. I think you just see these like glimmering yellow eyes open as the sand and the mud is like just perpetually kind of sloughing down off of itself, as it seems to be almost like picking more up through osmosis from the base while it's like looming in front of you. And then it
is your name Pearl?
And it just starts like lurching forward at you guys in the water. And I think we're going to have you click your tokens and roll initiative.
I'm pretty
Back
sure
me
that's
up, Holly!
not
Back me up! Back up! Reverse! Oh, sneaky.
That was kind of sneaky, right?
That was incredibly sneaky.
Oh,
You felt
If we get
really...
killed, shucking, I'll be pissed off.
You felt really confident once those guys left, right?
but what a way to
Oh
go!
yeah, I thought it was so happy. It was like, and I have locate object prepared. It's gonna be no problem getting
So
pearl.
what's the name of the
It's a
episode?
sand
Like
monster.
for Shucks' sakes,
Mhm.
oh Shucks. What do you
Yes.
got?
Shuck is in here somewhere.
My dice are all freezing on me, so I have to just roll real dice. Is that what's happening here? Okay. That's a really bad roll.
Quilliam's ready for this.
Well, I've got a really bad roll too, so it'll probably still go before one of us.
Oh my gosh, I beat you, Obi. Amazing. The gods really have conspired to slow you down today, Austin. I am sorry, man.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Can we water movement? Can you'll let us know?
Yep, let's talk about that. So basically all of you guys are swimming. If you can get up to basically any of like the 2 adjacent spaces to any of the edges, you'll be able to stand. But swimming in the water, it's basically like half movement, right? It's like difficult terrain. Clearly some of you guys have climb speeds. You could get up on these columns. You could stand on the one that's kind of like tilted over there. This is beach. But again, like anything within kind of 2 spaces of the edge is like standable terrain, if that makes sense.
Sure does.
And so I think with that, Quilliam, as you're like the kind of first to spot it, this mass of like mud rising up, I think you're seeing like seashells like moving through its form as it's like shifting and oozing, like sliding towards you along the ground. What would you like to do?
Is it in the water yet?
It's right, like, yeah, it's right at the edge of the water. The water is like lapping up on it, right? So yes, it's in the water. Yep.
Because I have a thing that I want to try, but it's it's a bit out there, and I don't know what the effect will be.
Is it more out there than teleporting above your foes and curling into a ball to fall on them?
Yes,
less?
it is, because there's at least a mechanical thing for that. And you know, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean,
because
I was expecting that. Yeah.
Because I have it prepared. Okay. Quilliam will see half speed, you said, so I'm just gonna float 10 feet in this direction. You just kind of bob towards this thing. It was like, oh, it's very wet here, isn't it? You look like you're just falling apart. You need to just dry out a little bit, I think. And he shall cast Create or Destroy Water on this thing and do what he can to destroy 10 gallons of water based around. I don't know how it's going to affect in any way, shape, or form, but this thing looks like it's depending on moisture, and he's going to do that.
Super terrific for this guy. Okay. I'm going to say he gets a Constitution saving throw. None of my dice are rolling, so bear with me. He's got a +4 con. What's your spell save DC, Quilliam? I rolled a 15.
That is exactly my spell save DC.
Okay, so he will take half damage. Let's call it inflict wounds. Roll 3d10.
Ooh. I also have inflict wounds. That's not bad rolling. 15. That's exactly half.
15. So he will take 7 points of damage. You watch as you like extract this water from it, and you're seeing parts of the edge of it literally like dry and crack and like fall off in these big chunks, water like splashing up all around it as the yellow eyes like focus in on you, Quilliam. It takes that damage. That's your action. You have used some movement. Bonus action. Anything else?
Yes. Quilliam will look at him and was like, oh, well, that was quite brutal. Okay. Jeremy! And Jeremy, the spirit bear, shall appear from beneath the water, just there, just where Obi and Holly are. My spirit totem, bear spirit, shall pop up. And everybody gets 9 temporary HP.
Very, very, very nice. Yeah, cool. As the bear spirit like appears, this aura like surging out around it, all of you feel bolstered and strengthened. Quilliam, that was your action. Bonus action. I think that brings us to Odella on 19.
Okay, you're gonna start moving. So that's 10, 20, 30. And let's let's just try to shoot it with a okay, no, because I'm swimming. Like I can't shoot a short bow. I'm swimming. So let's bonus action dash.
It'd be amazing to watch a swimming raccoon trying to shoot a bow.
Yeah. So just want to get where I can be like standing. Is it standing?
As you get there, yeah, your feet like catch the sand underneath you. You're able to kind of like get some footing, yanking the bow off of your back.
So it's 45. Now there's a pillar in the way. So actually, let's stand back. But I can still see it from here.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a big thing, right? It's like jutting out around the edges. Yep.
All right, let's shoot it with a short bow.
Okay.
No, I don't have advantage. 12.
Oh, yeah, you don't. That's really unfortunate. I'm sorry. A 12. You watch as like the arrow hammers into it and kind of mud splatters off, but it seems to have no effect. Just miss. Sorry, Grace.
No, that's fine. Okay, let's try. So I move 40, 45, 50, and I want to start climbing up the thing.
Okay, you got it.
So
you have a climb speed, so you could just scurry right up. You would have, what did you say you moved 50 feet so far?
No, this was, I'm at 50 where I am right there, so I have 10 more feet of movement.
Yep. So anywhere in any of these like 3 spaces that you want, you can definitely make it up to the top and get on the ledge if you want.
Let's do that. Okay.
Okay.
That is my turn.
Okay, we watch as like Odella like chugs along like super fast raccoon swim into like the shallow water where she like fires off a shot hastily before scrambling up the ledge. That brings us to you, Holly, on 13.
Yeah. If I move to where my arrow is right now, can I attack from there?
So difficult terrain basically for swimming, right? So like this is gonna be your full movement. Can you move?
Sorry, if I dash.
Oh, sure. Yeah. If you dash, yeah, you could get there. And then that's your action, though. Can you dash as a bonus action? Do you have anything going on there?
I cannot, but I can action surge.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was figuring you were going for. So, yes.
Yeah. I will do that, and I will attack it with my axe. If I'm like on stable enough ground that
you
I can
absolutely are. Yeah. The water is like coming up much deeper on you, right? It's like down in your tiny little armpits, but you like are able to come like swimming like insanely fast as you come charging up, like yanking the axe up just as you're getting your feet into the ground, like that water walking, you push forward. Go ahead and make an attack.
Okay. 13.
Wow. 13, the axe like kind of cleaves into the mud, and Holly, you're like, there's like a moment where it's almost like trying to pull the axe out of your hands, and you like yank it back out, mud splattering down in the water all around you. Unfortunately, that is just a miss. Holly, that was your action surge. Your action.
Yeah. Bonus action is going to be basically trying to like distract it away from Obi in order to help him on his attack.
Okay, great. You're granting
and she's just like doing a lot of yelling at it and like splashing it with water and trying to like make a big fuss.
And I think it's like glancing down at you as like the axe is like flying around, the Holly like yelling up at it, water like splashing everywhere. That will unfortunately bring us to its turn, where I think it just like kind of like sloughs forward a little bit, like rotating like this. And I think it's going to take a shot for the terrible druid who just dehydrated it. It hates that. Oh, right. My dice aren't rolling. I don't know what's going on with that.
It's very important to hydrate in the morning, particularly if you've been drinking the night before.
Quilliam. The mud like smashes into the column above you, kind of splattering all over the place, just missing you as it then like wheels down and just tries to like kind of smash you into the dirt, Holly. This big like arm of mud rearing back to come like smashing down on you. Wow, these are bad rolls. That also is a miss as you're able to just kind of spin out of the way. Water like blasting up almost like a geyser, raining down around the lot of you. That was its action. That's its turn. Obi, you're up on 5.
Wait. Sorry, Rich. Can I use my reaction?
All right. So Obi sees.
Sure, you could use a reaction.
Go ahead.
If you have a thing.
Was that a melee attack?
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to riposte.
Yes.
I haven't got to do this yet.
Riposte.
Yeah.
Cool superiority dice.
Yeah, I haven't got to do this. Hold on. Let me.
We forget that Holly's a battle master.
She's not. She took
Is it?
fighting initiative. She took a feat.
Oh.
Okay, 16.
Totally hits. The axe, like as it punches down, the axe snaps out next to you and like cleaves through the arm. Mud spraying away from it. That's going to be 10, 16 points of damage.
Yeah. I was just like double checking that I did that right. But yes, I did.
Yeah, Holly, that's a huge cleaving strike. Mud blasting away from its arm, which brings us right back around to Obi. What do you want to do, sir?
All right, so Obi sort of follows behind Ode as she's swimming up towards the rocks. He's going to swim 15 or 10, 20, 30 feet with sort of moving at half speed to get into the shallows so he can get his onto the sand here. As his feet find purchase in the silt here, he brings his heels together, and with his bonus action, he is going to click his boots of speed to double his walking speed and allow him to then continue moving. And with 30 feet of movement still left, he is going to come wheeling around behind this pillar to sort of come around behind this mud creature. As he does, he unsheaths his brandish. He unsheaths his Zilbuckler shield and is going to, with a twirling sort of jump, sort of slide through the water, gliding his sword along the top of the tide here to kind of splash up with this flourish as he strikes into the back of this creature. And he is going to make his attack with with advantage from Holly. Is that correct?
Yes.
From the distraction. Alrighty, let's see how we go. Where is my attack?
This is so fun.
Guys.
Yeah, totally.
23 to hit.
That is a ferocious slash, right? As the sword like cuts across the water like spraying up all around it. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Alrighty, and I'm just checking where I'm at here. That's extra movement. That's defensive. Yeah, he's going to, with that sort of flourish of the extra splash, he is going to add a slashing flourish onto this to do an extra little bit of damage. So, let's see if it rolls that properly.
Nice.
9 piercing damage plus 8 additional damage between his dueling style and his flourish. So
Double max damage
17 points of damage.
Yeah. Obi, you
Love
watch
to
as
see
the
that.
sword like dancing across the water, just like tears through the mud, water like spraying around it, taking massive material away from like this strange hulking elemental, as it were. That's 17 points of damage. Hell yes, bringing it to a clean 40. That's an excellent shot. That's your turn, Obi, or bonus action. That was your boots.
Yeah, so like as he sort of withdraws, he's already used his bonus, but as he sort of withdraws the blade after sort of striking in, he sort of turns and twists, and you sort of see the movement that he's sort of fighting with here is like a little different than the way you've seen him move and shift when he's been fighting on land. There's something a little bit more like fluid about his movements here, as he's echoing a dance style that he's learned from some of the coastal Mapach along the way, sort of which it mimics the flow of waves and sort of the flow of river.
And I imagine even there's that little bit of like ease of movement that does not exist when you're outside the water, right? As like you're like in the water, it'll be like the injury not inhibiting you in the way that like it has for these years, you know. Awesome. That's Obi's turn. That brings us back around to Quilliam on 22.
Okay.
That's me.
Quilliam's still just kind of bobbing in the water a little bit. He finds it hard to get his feet on the ground because his quills just keep him afloat. It's like he's wearing a life jacket that he can't take off. We'll just kind of shake a little weirdly and cause tiny little ripples to go out from the water. And you'll see these the pond skaters, you know, the kind of insects that crawl across the water. You just see massing, and all of a sudden a huge amount of them just swarm towards this gigantic muddy bastard in front of us as he casts Infestation.
Oh, yeah. Quilliam favorite right there. So he gets a Constitution saving throw.
It's a very good con, I know, but
8.
fun.
That's a fail.
Hooray! Okay, so I think it's 2d6.
Gosh, this
It's
is wild.
1d6.
None of my dice.
Unless you're 5th level. But...
Oh no, we're not 5th level yet, are we? It's 1d6.
Yeah.
Okay, so he takes 4 points, or it takes 4 points of poison damage and must move 5 feet in a random direction.
Does it move immediately?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, it does. Okay. 4 points of poison damage, you say.
I did.
Quilliam, you are much distressed to realize it takes no damage, seemingly immune to poison, but it does move to the north.
So it's being swarmed by these pond skaters that are climbing up over it, so it's completely covered in these marshy insects.
Yeah,
So it takes no damage and just moves closer to Quilliam.
It swamps.
Yeah, what happens here? Yeah.
It swamps him. I'm gonna resolve what it does on its turn for the sake of clarity, but like, yeah, Quilliam, it moves like it starts like sloughing completely into your space, trying to like swallow you inside its mass of mud. That was your action. Technically, you still have movement and a bonus action here.
Bonus action move Jeremy the bear closer to hug me from the other side, because I don't think I'm going to like what happens next.
Okay, you've got it. As Jeremy the bear like shuffles forward, like moving on top of the water, the spectral bear with all this kind of radiant energy flowing out of it. Quilliam, is that your turn?
It is. So I just imagine these pond. Go get them, my friends. No, don't push him on top of me.
Odella, as you stand, water like kind of cascading off of you with the high ground peering down into like this battle below. What would you like to do?
This is I don't know if you've heard a rogue ask this before, but is there anywhere to hide?
Yes, you could definitely. There's like all kinds of rocks and stuff. If you're trying to like lose line of sight from it, you could like duck back and hide. Sure.
I'd like to try and hide, please.
Okay, go for it. Bonus action. Make a stealth check. As you like duck out of the way. Got it. Yep.
And so then I'd like to move back and then try to take a shot at it.
Okay, as you like dart behind the rocks, like popping up the other side, firing down, that will successfully grant advantage. 23 hits, an arrow smashing down into this thing from above for 16 points of piercing damage. This arrow carving through the mass of this thing, mud like blasting out the other side with the arrow as it like punches into the water just like splashing in this big rooster tail kind of spray across the bay, as it were. Odella, that was your movement, your action, and your bonus action.
That's right.
Holly Goodtail, you are up.
I think Holly is incredibly distressed, and she's going to there's going to be no, I think she's just going to move.
Holly, I might need some help.
Yeah. What is Quilliam currently like seemingly I think she's going to try, actually. She's going to move and try to pull him out of whatever this situation is.
Okay, so I'm going to give you clarity. I'm about to try to like drown him. So if you want to like hold your action to try to like pull him out while so he doesn't get swallowed. Okay,
you do have advantage. You have advantage on strength checks at the moment.
Yes, I also would have advantage on them anyway, as long as an ally is within 5 feet of me, because Jerbeen have a take heart ability in which they are extra strong around their friends.
Oh,
it's very cute.
I love Jerbeen. Yeah.
They just like want to, prove how strong they are to their buddies.
By the way, trying to drown a druid. Good luck with that.
I know, very rude. I can't drown you, but I can fill your nostrils and lungs with mud. So
you're pulling an inflatable ball under the water and then letting it go. Quilliam's about to just go flying out of the water.
Yeah, exactly. Boom, like a cork, Okay. Holly, as you circle around to your friend Quilliam, let's figure out how we want to resolve this. I gotta say to you, Quilliam, do you want like Holly to roll your saving throw for you with the strength saving throw that's about to happen right now?
Yes, I will. Okay. I will let Holly take the lead on this.
You watch as like the mud elemental like shifting down over you just tries to surge over both of you. So Holly, I'll have you make I'll have you make an athletics check with advantage to get Quilliam out of the way. DC is 14, and then a strength saving throw for yourself.
Okay. Athletics.
With advantage. 20.
So 20, thank goodness.
You managed
a dirty 20 because of all the mud.
Yeah, exactly. You managed to like yank Quilliam, like just pulling him as you duck down under him. You like grab a pair of the quill's like handles and just like whip him away across the water, while Quilliam, you're like just spinning, floating across the water away from the mud. The like little, pond skimmers like swarming over this elemental. Then your own strength saving throw, Holly, DC 14.
Wow.
Nat 20.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I have advantage at that because of Jeremy, so nat 20, 26.
You're right next to the bear.
Great. I'm just trying to
say you're no longer within 5 feet of me, so you no longer give me advantage, but Jeremy does, so it's fine.
Okay, so you can move yourself here as it basically like swamps forward this way. Obi, you can take an attack of opportunity against it.
I absolutely will. Obi turns and twists and strikes.
In my mind, we're fighting the Pokemon Muck.
Natural 20.
Wow.
20!
That is a natural 20.
Huge.
And,
go ahead.
On a natural 20, I'm going to do it. I'm going to expend another blade flourish to do another slashing. Wait, can I do that on another? Yeah, you can make it. It's not just limited to my turn. So, so we're going to double that to double that dice as well.
Oh, sad little roll.
Oh, wow. Minimum damage on the flourish.
Everything balances out eventually.
That's worse. So 9, 10, 13 points of piercing damage.
Compared to the 17 on the non-crit.
Yeah, really. Nonetheless, Obi, as you like lunge forward, slashing, like because it's
devastating.
Like pulling away from you, you can't quite like dig in as well as you did the first time. But there is this like magnificent spin as you like roll in, like slashing, carving away this like section of mud that like splatters against the pillar wall next to you, while this thing just surges over the space of Holly and poor Quilliam. That was like its swamp. It's going to try to take one shot at you, Holly. It does try to punch you here. I forgot I have no dice. Wow, this thing has rolled nothing but 3s. Bye-bye. It misses Holly as it just like punches down into the mud again, like a geyser, mud and water like erupting into the air, raining down everywhere. That's its turn. It is actually your turn, Obi. What would you like to do?
How tall is this pillar beside me?
It's about like 15 feet. It's a little bit higher than like the cliff where Odella is standing.
All right, so Odie is going to use his 20 feet of climbing speed to like kind of like climb his way around the pillar, and sort of like as he's like spiraling up it. As he does, he kind of like pulls free like some like long sort of fabrics out of his pack. And as he kind of gets halfway around this pillar, he is going to sort of like loop the fabric around behind him to sort of like swing. And as he does, he is going to bring his sword like handle onto the back of his shield. He's going to cast Thunderwave at this creature as he sort of runs up the pillar and then spirals around, sort of swinging down on this like long strip of fabric to Thunderwave and push the creature back. So I need oh, no, that's the wrong one. I will need a Constitution saving throw, DC 13.
Okay. I got new dice here. Let's see how we do.
I know it's good at it, but
3.
Yeah, I rolled an 18. He does unfortunately make his save, but
okay. So that is a success, but that will be not the extra damage. So 9 down to 4 points.
You blade flourishing a thunderwave?
4 points of thunder damage.
We hear this peal of thunder.
No, that I forgot to turn off the modifier there.
No problem. We hear this cracking peal of thunder. As like dust, I think, echoes off the pillar. Obi like swinging on like this colored wrap of fabric that he's got kind of like hooked around the back of the pillar now, right? As he kind of like arcs out around it almost, right? The thunder like boom, mud does like rain off this thing. I think we see this moment of like drops of moisture like bursting up like the top of like a drum, right? Like it does only unfortunately take 4 points of thunder damage. It's 4 points nonetheless. Obi, that's your movement and your action. You do still have a bonus action if there's anything else.
Yep. I don't believe so. But Obi, as he kind of like casts his Thunderwave, he's going to kind of take that sort of momentum of the sort of like continue sort of running up around the pillar, sort of spiraling up it to sort of like end his movement up on top of the pillar here.
Love it.
Looking down at the scene.
We
with
love
with the silk kind of like wound like a reverse maypole almost like up the pillar.
Yep, we love to see it. With that, Quilliam, you are up. You watch like as the dancing Mapach scurries up this pole, the peal of thunder like echoing over you. What would you like to do?
Oh, that is immensely impressive. Oh, let's see if I can still do this.
Why, thank you.
Quilliam will take the Nightfather's staff and just kind of put it down as if you would a gondola pole, just because he's currently floating in the direction that Ollie. So he just kind of stops the momentum and just shoves himself backwards. So he just kind of swings back in that direction 10 feet, and as he's doing that, he shall utter a few little magic words and cast Shillelagh on his on the Nightfather's staff, and turn around, and with the momentum that he got from the gondola swing, just go and swing around, and with the other end bash it with the Nightfather's staff.
Go for it, Shillelagh. We love to see it.
So the Nightfather's staff, I get to add my wisdom, I believe now, with Shillelagh instead of my saying. So I don't actually have this in, so I'll just do it in the normal dice roller.
Sure, yeah, just roll flat d20.
Is the Nightfather's staff? It's not a magical weapon. Is it a +1 or anything?
It is. It's +1 to hit and damage. Yes, sir.
Excellent. Does a 19 hit?
Yeah, it does. You like smash the staff down into this thing. So you may roll 1d8 +6.
10 points of
the bruiser, as Quilliam, like floating back, spinning through the water, like lashes out with this twisted old black walnut staff, smashing it into the mud, which just bursts into spray everywhere, for another 10 points of damage. This thing is like finally looking worse for wear, right? Like it's like sloughing apart, shells like cracked and falling. It seems like skinnier than it did when it first kind of massed up out of the earth from where you were. That was your bonus action movement, Quilliam. Is that it?
Yeah, Quilliam's feet have not touched the ground this entire time. He's just been floating. So now, he went away. He pushed with the with the staff, smacked with the staff, and now he's currently spinning in the direction that he hit the staff. So he just goes bang, and just starts spinning again in the water, and ends his turn.
Gotta love it. The little spiraling hedgehog. This bromance of Obi and Quilliam is also like giving me life tonight. Odella, you were up on 19. It is your turn.
I would like to hide.
Okay, sure. You do have steady aim also. Is that other roguish thing?
Oh, yeah, let's do that instead. Let's do that.
Okay, that's your bonus action. Well,
yeah,
I mean, it's up to you. You do whatever.
No,
you want.
there's not much you can do with your. Oh, it is my bonus action. Let's do that.
Yeah, you use like
so forget the stealth roll.
Moving.
Yep. So we'll attack.
21 hits. You take aim, focusing down the length of the arrow shaft, firing 16 points of damage. With that, the arrow ripping into the elemental. It looks like very, very badly damaged at this point. I don't know why I'm having such trouble with math. As you like hammer into it for 16 points of damage, that's your bonus action. That's your action. When you steady aim, technically you can't move. That's your turn. Odella. Holly, Goodtail, you're up on 13.
So I think having pulled Quilliam out and then seeing him go back, she's like, wait, what? No. That wasn't the point.
You have to go with the flow, girl.
I very much decide what flow I want to do. Not part of my makeup. And so she's going to come back and try to hit it again.
Go for it.
18.
18 hits.
For 11.
Got it.
And
yeah. I'm sure that was going to be it. How do you want to do this?
Just making sure. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm good. So she comes back in and is kind of like slashing at it, and she's like, "Come get me!" She's again trying to like distract it away for Obi to have advantage.
Okay.
You're also doing that with about like a foot and a half of yourself out of the water.
Yeah.
Over the air, like the water's up here. Attack me!
I think
she's also like terrified of what happens if it goes after Quilliam again. So.
Oh wow.
Quilliam's fine. Quilliam hasn't been touched this entire fight.
You're super strong, Holly. Your tail is like doing a lot of work to stabilize you here, as the weight of the breastplate in your backpack like really wants to just like tilt you face up in the water, you know? So your little tail is like pumping behind you, your legs like churning to like keep you mostly upright as you like cleave into the mud, the axe like carving away this massive like splash of the thing, while you're like yelling at it, these yellow eyes just focus down at you. Quilliam next to you. Holly, that was your turn. That's it, right?
Yep.
And it will go. Yeah, it's just going to take 2 shots down at you, Holly, as you're like trying to like get its attention. God, I keep forgetting everything doesn't roll. All right, come on, dice. Let's go.
Also, I've been attacking two-handed, so my AC is only 16.
Oh, that's a great thing for me to know, which means that I've hit AC 16 and AC 23.
Yeah, both hit.
Holly, boom, boom. All of you watch with the
She is technically our tank, but still, no.
As like both fists pummel into the form of tiny Holly Goodtail as she floats at the top of the water surface. I think she vanishes like hammered down under the water as the fists come like smashing down That's 18 points of damage altogether. 11 from one, 7 from the next. Boom, boom! Holly like blasted underwater as the elemental goes, which brings us to Obi. You're up as you stand at the top of the pillar.
All right. So as I'm standing up at the top of the pillar, and did it like absorb Holly, or did it just like slam into her? And,
it just punched her, right? She's like underwater, and you're seeing her like starting to rise back up, like chugging, but it doesn't have her inside of it. Nope.
All right. Well, in that case, what Obi is going to do is he's going to, from his position on the pillar, he is going to sort of climb back down and then jump to like take a slashing strike, sort of like at this creature's head-ish form, to try to like slice across its back with another natural 20.
As
again,
Obi you like cleave into the head.
I'm gonna burn my last bardic inspiration.
It's really hard not to, Austin. I feel you, bro.
And I'm gonna burn my last bardic inspiration to add this extra damage, and hopefully I do better this. Oh, again!
That's the exact same roll.
It is the exact same roll, but Austin, nonetheless, how would Obi Honorel like to do this?
All right, as Obi jumps off the pillar, slashes across this creature's form, what he does is he then like using the momentum of the ribbon or this like silk that he sort of like wrapped around the pillar as he ran up it the first time, and he's sort of like unwinding it. He sort of uses it as leverage to then like continue running back around the pillar for a second strike that he kind of hits like right along the rib cage, quote unquote, of this creature, coming around again for a third strike along the side, cleaving like off its like muddy fist that had just slipped Holly into the water, and then he uses that third strike to also like spring off the pillar to just throw his force like into the side of this creature and disperse it back into the mud in the water as he slams with a delicate, hopefully, splash. 22, yeah.
Perfect.
Into the water amongst the mud.
And we watch like this spinning like aerial display from Obi cleaving this thing in half. Mud like kind of sprays everywhere as this last blade strike from Brandish lays low this fell beast. Mud kind of raining down in the water. Holly, your head popping up above the surface just in time to like see the last of this incredible display as Obi like poosh, just perfectly diving down into the water. And just like that, the bay kind of churning around you. Holly, a little battered and bruised. Some of you covered in sand, which gets everywhere. It's very unpleasant.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I didn't get hit. My concentration is still up.
Indeed it is, Scott.
I didn't put it on anything. So he's going to, Quilliam will try and get Obi's attention and just like, no, it's down to the left. No, look under that rock. There should be one in there somewhere. He's desperately trying to direct him towards the pearl.
And I think as you swim down, Obi, you're able to kind of grab like a handful of these oysters, right? Coming back up with like a small bundle of them.
Are these the ones good for shucking?
Oh, they're shuckable. Here's a question.
This one.
Could I try
more down
to
there.
communicate with them? They're bugs of a kind. I mean, they're just insects that live under the sea as opposed to over them.
Oh my gosh, what do we think, Melissa? Does that sound reasonable? Are we gonna call mollusks bugs?
They're the same family.
Yeah, they're totally related. I think that's genius. Yeah.
They
I figured
are.
you'd like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go to the scientist for these kind of questions. So yeah, of course you
Yeah,
can.
it's totally my
obviously.
branch of science. Don't ask any further
I know, it's
questions.
no
Let's go.
problem,
Yeah.
right? It's like it's
I'm
the
just-
human brain, oysters, insects, all basically the
I
same.
had to take a
right?
biology
Totally
class
my
at some
branch
point.
too. That's how it works.
Quilliam will hold up the oysters and
Yeah.
mussels and various different mollusks that OB has disposited. So like, hello, and with speak with bugs. Hello, friends. Do any of you here perhaps have a little tickle, a little irritant that has formed a small, maybe a lump that I might be able to help you out with? Oh, you there? Okay, and what's your name?
I think it just like spits this stream of water out, and it's just like
Beautiful name.
the shell like opens the tiniest bit, like
Okay,
Carl.
Carl, now, I need you to be very brave for me, Carl. I need you to open wide. Say ah. Say
This is
ah.
terrifying. Who do you think you are?
It's okay, I am a friend. I promise you'll feel better after this.
We only just met. I'm not gonna show you inside my shell.
Yeah, don't worry. You're feeling that you're a little bit ticklish. You're feeling that that you need to maybe unload something. You're carrying a bit of extra
how
weight.
do you possibly know this?
Because I'm one with the land. I just want to help. So if you
You're so
trust,
gigantic and hairy. This is very unusual. Oh,
I shall
okay.
take that as a great compliment. Just relax, Carl. Just relax and let Quilliam do his thing. And Quilliam shall
Gentle
attend.
with me, Quilliam.
Shh. Okay, Carl.
I think that the shell like starts to open slowly.
This is far more intimate than
I know.
was
I don't
expecting it
know
to
what you
be.
guys just X card me at any moment. I don't even know what the heck is happening anymore. Let's play Humblewood. We said it's a cute game with animals. Oh.
I was worried that we were gonna Carl was gonna say no, and I was gonna be like, well, guess we have to kill
See?
Carl.
Oh, smash Carl.
Yeah.
Really.
Shh, Carl, it's okay. Just relax, Carl.
This is not how I thought shucking worked.
Have you never shot before?
Really? I think Carl like opens slowly in Quilliam's hand, and we see amidst like the incredible fleshy oyster within the like glimmering of a pearl in the sunlight.
Obi, my friend Carl has a gift for you. Be gentle.
Thank you, Carl. And Obi sort of reaches in his like little raccoon fingers and like plucks out the pearl. And like gives
Obi.
the top of the shell like a little bit of like a pat, like a thank you pat, having not communicated with oysters before.
I think as you like
Who's
pat
thank
the
you,
top,
Pat?
Not really sure if that's kosher.
Who's thank you, Pat? As you pat the top of the shell, I think it's like it like slaps closed like very quickly. You know, Quilliam, you're like, oh my fingers. It almost got you. And I think Carl's like, whoa. This feels great. That's fantastic.
I know. Now, I think Quilliam will gently put him back, but amongst the sandy, muddy debris of the mud elemental, so hopefully Carl will get another little thing in his throat and develop
just all these like
pearl.
little bubbles as you drop the oyster, like, I'll always remember you.
Wow, I just seem to attract all folks. Well, that was fun. Holly, are you okay? Do you need some healing?
Yeah, I think I'm fine. It's not too bad.
Okay. You're quite the strong swimmer, little Goodtail.
Yeah.
How-
Well, you know, gotta beat everybody else. When you go down to the lake in the summer, and you know you have to try to get over and swim across the lake. And if you don't make it all the way across, then Mom gets mad and then she yells. So I had to prove how strong I was so that I could go out into the lake when I was, not as old as everybody else.
I hope you didn't bring your axe back then as well.
No, that would be silly. Although I did sometimes hit people with sticks.
Oh, I know. They used to come to me for bruises.
How long has it been since, like, when they left and the frog left and then we jumped out?
It's so much pretty conspicuous.
Right. They left about an hour ago, or about 40 minutes ago, right? And then the frog left like another like kind of half hour after that. And I think you guys kind of jumped out and were floating around for like probably, there about 10 minutes before this thing surged up. Yeah.
Right. I was just worried that it was like so quick that they might have heard that and were on their way. So
Well, I suggest we make tracks. I think we should get out of here quickly. We have
don't make any track. That's exactly how you get followed.
Oh, that's a very good point. Okay, let's go, but not leave tracks.
Yeah, don't leave tracks. Or walk backwards. All sorts of tricks you can do so people don't know.
Are you suggesting we walk backwards to Maggie's?
Yeah, in the sand, so that they think you actually went into the water when we actually got out of the water.
Okay. And I think we walk side by side, apart from there are two lines in the sand. I don't know. I've heard.
Until someone picks them up.
Yes, I've heard sayings about that or something like that.
Yeah.
But they have to do it backwards. Let's.
Yeah, everybody walk backwards.
Enough parables.
And maybe you climb up here. So you climb up. And then we'll climb down.
Obi, by the way, that was incredibly impressive.
Silk turning. Learned it from a few of the Mapach that we picked up. Joined the troop from along the Talon Grip coastline. So feels good to use it in the place it came from.
Well, it certainly worked.
And Obi is kind of like playing with the pearl, and yes, and thank you. This is going to go a long way. So hopefully, helping all of us be able to know whatever strange things we come across.
Well, don't thank me. Thank Car.
Really, you're quite remarkable. I know I did, and then he snapped shut very quickly. So I don't know if he appreciated the thanks.
Oh, you know the way things goes. Sometimes sea creatures can be a little shellfish. No, you sit in it. Sit in it.
I walk backwards.
So, as Odella leads you walking backwards away from
I give you a hard.
Oh, go for it, Austin. I'm sorry.
I give you a hard time, Quilliam, but you're a good soul. Thank you.
You give me a hard time,
but I do want
you're
to hear
very
those
nice
stories.
to me.
That's him giving a hard. That's a hard time.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, young Master Obi.
Obi, maybe we should like practice. Yeah.
But I do want to hear those stories.
Very Jedi-like.
Obi, maybe we should practice your like trash talking. If you think that you've been giving Quilliam a hard time, I think we could make you like a better trash talker.
Yes. You could take lessons off your sister.
Oh,
I talk in the trash all the time.
Yeah, I was waiting for that, Grayson. Yeah.
If you were looking for an expert in trash.
That's right.
So, as Odella leads you down off
I would appreciate that, Holly. I feel like I could add a little bit of teeth to it.
My question here is what you guys want to do. Odella, I think as like the most well-versed of this area, you guys are on the kind of like southern coast now of Saltersport. You can certainly, staying on the coastline, try to navigate around the edge of the city, making your way north up into the woods if you wanted. There was like Holly's thoughts about like going to find the rest of like the bandits at this cave that was identified. You know that there are some ruins that are like down here on the shore that have been kind of storm tossed and like wrecked. They might offer like some kind of shelter if you guys wanted to like post up and wait here for a time. But yeah, you have like the best orientation of like where you're at. I guess I just ask you all, what would you like to do? Where do you want to go?
Do we have an idea of how long a journey it is to get to Magnes Hold?
Walking, it'll be somewhere in the region of like 2 days, you think 3 days at best, if like you were to get slowed down.
Well, I believe that's our destination, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
Best get going.
Yeah.
So, Della, what do you think will be the quickest and easiest way to get to there? Yes.
Do I know the answer to that, Rich?
Sure, yeah, you can like skirt around the edge of the city and just like cut north along the road, right? If you want to do that, that'll like get you there quick.
Yep, let's do that.
Okay. So,
Holly, I can't help but notice you're carrying 2 pieces of armor around with you. Is there any particular reason?
I mean, you don't remember I did the whole like dive down into the water thing?
Well, I do, but I mean, I've yet to see you wear your fancy new armor.
I know, but I haven't I don't know. It's Lady Brigida's, right? It's all.
I know, but we've all inherited some interesting new items on this trip. I mean, I'm having a wonderful time with this staff. You saw what Obi can do with his new boots. I mean, don't you want to see what you can do? It's not that you're not already very impressive. You certainly showed that mud elemental what for, but are you not even the least bit curious?
I mean, I am kind of curious, but...
I certainly am curious. I'd love to see what you could do in that armor. But it's your choice. Entirely.
I mean, Mr. Obi, could you tell me what it does?
Oh, that's a good point.
Could, if you wanted me to. And that way you know what you're getting into.
All I need is a diamond worth 100.
Quick, back to Carl.
Do you want me to find out what it does, Holly?
I mean, I guess. Been carrying it around for a while. Seems like maybe I should know.
A couple days. Yeah.
Can I inside check our little mouse friend here?
All right.
You absolutely can. I don't know if you're asking me or Rich, but I say yes.
Yeah. If Melissa says yes, then have at it, friend.
Jeez, yeah.
What's a 19 get me?
I mean, like, Holly's all bravado and, like, not actually, right? Like, her whole thing is that she didn't actually kill the snake that everyone thinks she did and that gave her all the attention. So she feels like she has to earn it, and she hasn't done anything that she thinks has earned it yet. So she's feeling like she's not as worthy enough to wear it. But she's, like, very curious about it, so.
Well, Obi, do you think you can help Miss Holly out here?
I certainly can. I mean, this little trick that I learned, I thought it'd probably be useful for small little trinkets and things, but to try it on something as legendary as Brigida's armor, I mean, that's certainly a worthy starting point, and one that I'd love to help you out, Holly. Shall we?
Okie doke. So go for it, Austin.
Obi kind of like turns to Holly for the armor. I do need to be able to see and touch it for it to work.
Yeah, okay. She'll like kind of unstrap it from her pack and hand it over to you.
Compared to like the Nightfather staff, the armor is like notably not highly ornamented, right? It's very plain. It looks like this like really fine craftsmanship, especially for those with like a deep understanding of like metalworking and like this kind of trade. But it's unadorned, no like great symbology or anything. The style is old. It looks like a little bit dated, right? But it is almost this mirror polished reflection. I think the clouds above you reflected in it, gray and steely, as like the day is darkening a little bit. This storm that Quilliam felt coming, beginning to kind of coalesce. A thin drizzle of rain starts to fall as the group of you kind of pause on the coast, like some ways out. Salter's Port, like notably, like, you know, a decent like half hour, 40 minutes back behind you at this point, as you guys have like walked along the southern coast past the city and see it like looming up in the distance. I think fog beginning to kind of swallow it up and conceal parts. And so, Obi, you break out your new pearl and what else you may require, an owl's feather, I believe, and you may cast Identify.
Yeah, so the way that he kind of goes about it is he sort of sits cross-legged, places the armor in front of him, and sort of invites Holly to sit on like the other side of it. He takes the pearl and like starts by like balancing it on like the back of his hand, and then like slowly like tips and rolls it as it sort of like rolls backwards and forwards along his hand, then rolls it onto his other hand, and he sort of gestures out to Holly to like hold out her hands as well, and then like rolls it very gently onto the back of her paw, and then sort of rolls it back. And over the next sort of 10 minutes, he's going to cast this.
I think
can I do ritual casting
yes.
as a bard? I can. He's gonna take sort of the 10 minutes. So it's really like slow, like but very sort of hypnotic process of sort of rolling this pearl over his paws, over Holly's paws, and then eventually, sort of at the end, what he does is he kind of lifts it up between two of his little fingers, and places it on like the very tip of his nose, and then like tips his head back, sort of balancing slightly as it rolls along like the length of his muzzle, to come to rest like right between the eyes, like in that little divot right between the two Mapach eyes. And as he's sort of got his head tipped back, he utters the last little like moment of the incantation. This whole process, this whole dance, this ritual learned from his partner long ago, out of curiosity. And as it sits there, the pearl sort of like flashes with this like very faint purplish light. And as he then like drops his head down, where the pearl should roll away with gravity, it instead stays locked in place like a third eye between his, as the spell takes and he casts Identify.
Let me ask you guys, should I just make this visible to everybody?
Yes.
Should I only show Austin?
Oh, come on. What do you think we're going to say?
Of course. That's preposterous. Really, I'm just asking Melissa. Melissa, what do you want me to do?
I was going to say you should just show it to Austin.
Yeah.
He's the one who cast
Okay.
it.
That's true. I'll happily not look at it.
I won't say no.
And I will allow Austin, with his great proficiency as a storyteller, to interpret what you read here, my friend. I believe you should be able to see it.
Oh, this is a bard item, totally. 100%. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just
Richard, that's something I would want to do at some point after.
No, definitely mine.
Obi is done.
Sure. Yep. As Austin reads, what do you want to do here, Odella? As like there's like this 20-minute lull. You guys are kind of like sitting on the beach, storm clouds gathering, drizzle starting to fall.
I would want to be thinking back about stories of the five. There was they were like five of like an assortment of other people who also fought against people lesser. So I'm trying to recall if I know of any stories of like somebody who like, you know, didn't think that they were like, you know, worthy of something, you know, and then were able to like, you know, have them. So I'm just trying to like recall like folk lore and tales to see if I remember something like that.
Absolutely. Of specifically like those five heroes of like Brigitte and her companions, or
if there was like some other. I feel like for me it would be like if there's like, I feel like what happens is like all of the like if there was a Mapach, right? There was a in the five. So if there's like, I feel like the Mapach lore, like there'd be all these other like there's obviously like the one person, but if there's all these other little stories like that the Mapach pass around as well. Like I don't know the like Jerbeen like smaller lore, but I have like the Mapach lore, you know? Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely it does. I'm just trying to think. Should you roll? Why don't you make a history check with advantage here, Odella? Oh, yeah.
19.
Oh, wow.
I think with a 19, you tell me, but I think like you can recall a story if you want me to like recount a very like specific one for you. Otherwise, like, you know,
you go for it. Yeah.
Some liberty here. I think that you were able to recall the story of the Mapach who was called Ewan
McGregor.
Yeah, exactly.
Obi-Wan. You got to get that Obi-Wan plug in, Rich.
Yeah.
I can. Right? His name was, he was called Ewan the Nightwalker. And so the deal was that he was a young Mapach, part of a big family. His older brother was killed in a fighting skirmish. He never.
I feel like as you're telling me this, I am telling.
You're telling the rest of the group. Yeah. And so as Odello, this is in the midst of Obi casting this kind of identify spell. Odella is recounting the story of Ewan Nightwalker, who so gained his name because after the fall of his eldest brother to bandits on the road, he began to travel and walk the ways between the cities of the Humblewood at night. And he never thought that he could hold a candle to his brother, who was a swordsman, well-regaled, of much repute. The ladies loved him, the men feared him, and young Ewan thought never would he be able to fill such large shoes. But as it were, one eve, just outside of Alderheart, Ewan caught sight of bandits trying to waylay a group of travelers, amongst which was the young lady Lumel, whom you know as she is the innkeeper of the bar in Marshview, and that it was the actions of Ewan the Nightwalker who like struck from the shadows and laid low these bandits that would have killed Lumel when she was but a young strig approaching the avium to learn her trade. And so you know that if not for like the actions of this one fellow who thought that he could never be as good as his brothers or those who came before, that this dear woman who was such a formative part of your youth growing up in Marshview never would have had the life she did. And so she would go on to say how Ewan actually like founded a small group who called themselves the Nightwalkers, Mapach and Vulpin mostly, folk who are not inherently looked on well in the Humblewood, certainly by the bird folk, who took it upon themselves to like stride the ways and paths of the wood in the darkest hours to keep safe those travelers who could not keep safe themselves. Was that too much or too little, Grace?
That was good. If I failed the roll, I was going to make up something. So that was
cool.
Yeah. So yeah,
amazing.
I just say that I don't really like put a thesis on the first
I got
story. Just say the story.
Yeah,
while
that's much better.
Obi is identifying.
And Obi? Yeah.
And I think, yeah, I'd sort of know, like, as like Obi sort of like in the process of casting the spell, like it's a story that I assume he's probably familiar with as well, and is like nodding along at Odella's recounting of it as we go. But as the pearl sort of flashes and the identify takes, you sort of see him. Yeah,
I just want to roll a performance check to see how good it was. I was also hoping I would fail.
Be good.
Good story.
It's actually quite a compelling story.
You're too good.
Yeah.
Odella, you're so engaging today.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody has noticed, but it is raining.
The spell sort of finishes taking.
Go for it, Austin. I'm sorry.
I'm almost done, Quilliam. I'm almost done. And as the spell takes, Obi kind of gasps a little as the and you almost see him like squint a little bit, like he's like seeing like a really bright, intense light, even amongst this like overcast day, and kind of goes to shield his eyes as the pearl like rolls off of his nose and kind of lands in the sand beside him. He kind of scoops it up, dusts it off, and places it in his pocket.
Just as Carl reaches out to snap at it back.
Yeah. This is far beyond anything I ever anticipated I'd even see, much less see in action. You'll find a lot of use with this. It carries light within it, and not just light of the spirit, but literal light.
Well, that would have been very handy about 2 hours ago.
Blind. Possibly, yes. But it can summon a light around it that blinds those that wish to cut through the darkness against you or against your allies. It protects you, not just from its material, but it's made of sturdier stuff than it seems. Stronger, more significant. It won't make sound the way your armor does. It's quiet, like light. It makes no sound. It allows you to clamber and climb towards the sun. It allows you to scurry from the light if you do not wish to be seen. And it channels that light of the day, the sunlight above, to channel its warmth to stitch up wounds, to heal, to embolden. There is much that this can do. There is much that Brigitte's spirit, or at least what she stood for, is molded into this. I mean, it truly is the armor of a hero.
Wow. Thank you. I think she's going to strap it back to her bag.
And I think it's... And he, you kind of see Obi, about to try to sort of, add something more, but as Holly takes it and sort of begins strapping it to her backpack, he just kind of nods. I think you are... at the end of the day, what you think you are worthy of is your choice, but I don't think Brigitte would have... I don't think you would have found this if you weren't meant to have it, If you weren't meant to be the person that wields it. Wears it, rather. It's kind of something you wear, not something you wield, but...
With Holly, anyway, you never know.
Yeah, she just keeps using it as
an improvised weapon. Yeah. Max damage, bang, bang.
Beat the necromancer to death with this breastplate.
But it's your call. There are many stories that I've heard of those that take time to become accustomed to what path they choose to be on. Don't rush it. You have time.
Thank you. Yeah, it just, a few days ago, I'd never left Marshview before. I was, the youngest of 74 siblings, and hadn't really, I didn't really know anything. Now we left, and I feel like I know even less. So,
well, from experience, I can tell you that just leaving home doesn't fill you with new knowledge. What you learn is through what you experience. What you learn from others, from other cultures, from other places. It's a process. So, like I said, don't rush it if you don't feel like you want to.
Thank you.
Learning to dance takes time. So is learning to do whatever it is you want to do. Some learn quicker than others. Sometimes it comes naturally. Sometimes it doesn't, but it's not ever out of reach. Ode has told me so many times that she can't dance, but she can. And if she was to decide that she wanted to, she could learn to dance as well as I could, or anyone else. So just because you're young, just because you don't feel like you know anything yet, that doesn't matter. It can take time. And you can get there. If that's what you want.
Yeah, I just want to prove myself that I can do it. Thank you, Mr. Obi.
You're welcome. I look forward to the day when you feel like you've arrived. In that regard. I don't think it'll be too far away.
Me too.
And I think that with that, the drizzle falling lightly around you, the gray sky hanging overhead. Do I say the thing where this is where we leave our adventurers tonight?
I have one more thing I'd like to do, just as we're kind of slowly making our way along the coast, while I see the other two having what seems to be a nice, deep conversation. Quilliam and Odella are just kind of walking in a comfortable silence, and he just, you know, Odella, we're going somewhat north now, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
It's been quite a while since I have gone north. Tell me, how young were you when we first met? It's been a long time. I remember you scurrying around my farm for many, many years. But you must have been just a wee little Mapach at that point.
Yeah, probably like 7 or 8.
Well, I tell you, even then, even all the way back then, I had been a long-term resident in Marshview, but I wasn't always from there. Did you know that?
No, I thought you lived there your whole life.
Oh, no. I came to Marshview a very, very, very long time ago. From north. Up from the north. Just because we're heading back in that direction, it's gotten me thinking an awful lot about the past, I guess. I wasn't always a farmer, you know. No,
Really?
I know it's true. I was in I was in the world of business, if you can believe it or not. Me and my brother. Oh yes, it was a very, very different life, and I only want to say that because all those years ago, back then, I couldn't possibly have envisaged myself as I am now, contented in growing my gardens and mending toys and baking. I couldn't have imagined myself doing that all those years back then. But now it is the most normal thing in the world. Just,
I don't know. I guess I just think it's important to know that you can be more than just one thing, Odella. Life is long enough to be many, 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 many things. Food for thought.
I think, like, as you mentioned your brother, Odell would like look back at Obe giving this like passionate speech and just think and reflect on that advice.
And I think that the camera like takes in the sight of the four of you as you're kind of like coming up from the coast to your south, cresting this hillside. Salter's Port off distant to the west, the road winding its way up into the towering, twisting trees that are the Yuirwood, the Humblewood. Their leaves, orange and reds and yellows, are just being torn from the branches as the wind picks up, and we're kind of watching them cascade in these twisting myriad of patterns. The rain beginning to fall heavier. Thunder like bursting and rumbling behind you as we see like one stark flash of lightning over the wood, kind of illuminating all of you in this flash of like blue light. And as the flash like bursts in front of us, it fades to black. And that's where we will leave our adventurers tonight.
Whoa, yeah.
Huzzah!
Tonight, on a very special year.
That was fun.
Yeah.
They're shucking and ducking. Level up! Experience.
Yeah.
Level up! Woo!
Level up.
We rolling? We rolling?
Yeah, let's roll.
Of course we're rolling.
So
we all know the great words of one Abria Iyengar.
Yeah.
I'm gonna click it.
I don't know the words. What were the words?
You can be a little bitch boy and take the average, or you can roll for hit points.
Oh, yeah. I'm so on board with her. My homeworld is named Abria, so I have great affection for her just because of her name. But yeah, don't be a bitch. The average is there for just the gentle souls of 5th edition. Roll the dice, my friends. Toughen up out there, kids. Holy cow, 8 is very good, Melissa.
Yeah.
That.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not good. That's a 3 plus the 2. So
That's really
Can
not.
we re-roll that?
Reroll that one.
likes to point out.
Kirk Clark does like to point that kind of stuff out. That's a reroll
rough.
there, Aiden. Okay, 6
Yep.
is
No,
better.
I'll take my 6.
Who's left? Just you, Grace.
I rolled a 5. I got the average.
Oh, you did. You were that first one right off the bat. Okay. Oof, poor Obi, man. Okay.
It's rough.
I'm feeling you. It does lean into like the injured performer thing, Austin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
true.
Poor Obi is going to be on crutches by the
Yeah.
end of this adventure. He's just, all the cartilage is gone from his knees. He'll have gout or something.
you just got to make it far enough to get that sword, Austin. That's all. Come on.
I got the sores, but now my legs don't work.
Sores. I got the sores. My legs.
Oh, no.
Very fun.
Yeah. The exciting thing is going to be when Obi doesn't make it all the way to getting the sword, and then I got to bring in like a replacement character. I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do like a sorcerer that just doesn't make any weapon.
See, I'm thinking the other way. You're like, I'm gonna make a fighter who's like a total like sword master. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be 2-weapon fighting, so I take both swords. You know, I'm like,
Yeah, no, he's gonna be like a wizard with 4 strength or something.
Has no emotional attachment to me, so 2 swords. Yeah, I'll take them.
Yeah.
See, I have this headcanon in my head that this is going to end with Odella wearing the breastplate, holding 2 swords, the staff on her back, going, "All right, let's do this." I'm just charging.
I was seeing, like, part of it is like, yeah, we should have just started doing this thing where we're like, well, fine, if you don't want it, we'll just put it on Quilliam. We'll just put the, and it's like this little tiny breastplate on Quilliam.
trying
Just like
to
on one
fit
of
it in.
on one of his like quills. Fine, we'll put it on Quilliam. Yeah.
it's cool. It's very fun.
No,
I really appreciate the like what you're doing, Melissa. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I may
it's great.
be like joking and whatever, like I think that there's like a lot of weight that's coming out of the story we're telling here together, because you guys are all like really thoughtful and excellent storytellers, which is why, you know, I was clever enough at least to assemble you all.
It's such a subversion of not only the like of characters of D&D to like be like hoarding like magic. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna take it. You know, I'm gonna take all the stuff. But also like players too, who are just like, yeah, I want the magic. I want to be buffed up. I want, you know. So it's really cool. I think
it's great.
It's annoying. It's annoying to be like, all right, we've got her. We got her this time. You're gonna put on the breastplate. She's like, and she puts the breastplate on her backpack.
I don't know how you do it. Like, Mama Luna ain't getting this staff back after quitting.
It was certainly a lot harder once I started hearing about all the cool stuff it did.
Oh yeah,
does some cool stuff. I hope it's titillating for you, Austin. Of like, oh my gosh, but what else is out there? Also, I'm really sorry that the pearl was such an ordeal, but ultimately it was really perfect.
Oh, that was totally worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great. It was so much fun. So much better than buying one.
Gold pearl. This group is a delight. We miss our Cervan almonds, so mad love to Aston again. Of course, your loving bride, Austin. Like, I just hope she's doing well. We hope to have her back for next time. We will play again sooner than later. It will not be August by the time we regroup. I promise you. Sometime in a month that starts with the number 6, we will play this game again. So we'll talk. I think we'll level up offline. This was just delightful, you guys. I have like so much fun with this group.
I have this image of while the 4 of us are splashing around with a mud elemental, shucking pearls, old Noel and old Noel and Almond are just standing atop the corpses of all the like the thieves guild, like just
they've
getting
like decimated everybody. Yeah. They're like setting justice right.
Yeah, just going. Yeah. I'm sure the other group are working just as hard.
Flattening them out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
we go. Hey, I found a pearl. I'm gonna talk to these oysters.
What an absolute delight. Really, it's like such a good time. Yeah.
By the way, Rich, you better, if you like, so you voice gnats, oysters. I mean, I'm level 5 now. You better believe there's going to be some plants and seaweed.
I was going to say some plants. Yeah.
I am talking with everything in this campaign.
Oh yeah. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons with Taylor Ball for like 4 years at least, so I got plants down. Don't sweat that. Yeah. No worries. You may be alarmed by what you find, though, Aiden.
Well, I had a very intimate encounter with an oyster today. So.
I mean, hey, listen, I'm just following the vibe in the room. So, my friends, this was very, very fun. This was delightful. We will get together to do it again soon. Aiden, do you have anything that you want us to like be paying attention to or aware of that's just like happening in the world? Anything out there like you want to give us a heads up about, or you want to plug, or you just want us to think about as humans?
Well, the first thing I will plug, because I think we should all do this, is everybody, for once, are subscribed to DM Philly here on Twitch, but you'll cover that. Get yourself over the post-show recaps as well, if you like us. Most of us are involved in some way, shape, or form over there. I have a couple of things coming up, but I'm going to let other people talk about them. And that's me, I guess. Like, I'm not on the social medias. I'm a hard person to find. I just like doing silly role-playing games. Not silly, awesome role-playing games. I like being silly in awesome role-playing games.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I actually really love that, because they are both silly and awesome, and you are both as well. So great. I'm very intrigued about what other folks will plug. Patreon.com/post-show recaps. This is what Aiden is talking about. You can find us all there. We all found each other playing Dungeons and Dragons in the little program that we kind of launched over there. A bunch of us are dungeon masters, like managing that. We have a very robust, active community.
We've all dungeon mastered in this thing.
Yeah, we have now.
I've joined.
Indeed, we have. It's a very robust D&D community. So if you wandered in and found this VOD on YouTube or here on Twitch and are like, oh, these guys are cool, you can come play with all of us. If you want to sign up, patreon.com/postshow recaps at the $10 a month level. Good heads up. Yeah, awesome. Austin, how about you, sir? You fought through the technical difficulties tonight. We thank you for it. You were excellent. You were a trooper. We'll get it figured out better for next time. Anything you want to hype up?
Yeah, I guess I've got a few things. If you want to follow me on Twitter at AustinFSmith8, I'm currently wrapping up coverage with the wonderful DM Philly of an Amazon Prime series called Outer Range. It is fantastic. It is a really interesting kind of sci-fi-ish, existential, philosophical sort of show that is set in rural Wyoming on a ranch. Very mysterious, very intriguing, lots of character focus, lots to dissect. And Rich and I have been breaking it down for post-show recaps. And we are coming up on recording our finale coverage this week. So head over to the PSR feeds if you are interested in hearing our thoughts on that show. And also go check out the show. It's a good one. Additionally, in a very different TV vibe, I recently guested on One Indescribable podcast with friends of the DM Philly fam, Adam H. and Todd the Librarian, and the great TV Lindy as well, who this weekend is playing her first game of D&D ever over in that post-show recaps Discord game. But you can find that podcast where we are breaking down an episode. You can find that episode of One Indescribable podcast where we're breaking down a season 3 episode of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, a wonderful, delightful musical comedy show that gets into some interesting themes as well, and some great music. Lastly, if you're into the Survivor thing, I write recaps for Survivor 42. You can find them linked on my Twitter.
That's all good stuff. I'm having a delightful time talking about Outer Range with you, Austin. We're going to get together to talk about the final episode and the finale in just a few days' time. But yeah, it just finished airing on Amazon Prime. Very fun TV, you guys. Like, it's really, really well done, well written, awesome performances. Can't recommend it enough. And you get to listen to me and Austin talk about it. So that's a good time, right? That's got to be a win for everyone. Yeah. Melissa, my friend, the unarmored Holly, what do you have going on? As you're a very busy person in the world, you always got a bunch of good stuff.
She's armored. She's just wearing less interesting armor.
I guess.
Yeah. Follow me on Twitter, MelissaW28. I'm podcasting with Grace about Shining Girls right now, the Apple TV show with Elizabeth Moss. It's weird and, spooky and creepy, but check that out. Otherwise, we're back for YA talking about Harry Potter. So we recorded our Half-Blood Prince episode that dropped recently, and again, like, people familiar to the DM Philly vibe might be showing up on the feedback episode for Half-Blood Prince coming up next week, so check that out if that's your jam. And I am also recording an episode of One Indescribable podcast next week, so I will be on that soon too, talking about an episode that I may have laid claim to a while ago that I was like, I really want to talk about it. So
that is fantastic that you had to put your flag in of nope, this one's waiting for me, friends. One Indescribable podcast, of course, a number of those guys are the 3NG, the great D&D musicals that are getting made over post-show recaps. There was one here. You could find it on my YouTube, The Journey Home. Mad love to those guys. So that's cool. I wish I had a link faster, but nonetheless, go follow One Indescribable podcast. Grace, how about you? You got a bunch of good stuff.
Do you know what? I feel like I just wrapped up a bunch of stuff. So this is great. I finished Winning Time with Jason Reed. I finished Heartstopper with Matt Scott, which is super cute. You should go watch that and listen to the podcast. We finished Russian Doll a few weeks ago with Ariel and Marissa, and I do movie coverage with Ariel as well each week, although we are on a slight bit of we're on a 2-week break, and then we'll be back. Shining Girls was mentioned. I just wrapped up The Wilds as well. The Wilds. And over on Rob Has a Podcast, I do the Offspeed podcast, and Aiden will be joining me to talk about the sport of hurling. So,
whoa. Hurling? Not curling.
Not curling.
Hurling. It's a sport. It's not just projectile vomiting as well. No, it is the greatest sport, one of the greatest sports in the world. And I cannot wait to talk at length about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Mike Bloom will join us in the back half to pick an MLB team. I have a fun game planned, so we'll see. I think we could pick an MLB team. So for
this
Mike,
sounds like a like Grand Slam podcast, Grace. As somebody that does not know sports at all, I'm showing up. You got Mike Bloom, you got Aiden, you got you. This is a trifecta. I can't resist. Hurling. You taught me very notably about curling last year.
We'll do a curling episode at some point. It's just out of season at the moment.
It is. We gotta wait for good.
We gotta wait.
Watching curling with like my Canadian friends is like become one of my favorite things to do.
Very fun.
Well, you should check out hurling. A little preview I will say is the best description I've ever heard of the sport of hurling is like it's a mixture of hockey and murder.
Oh, bro. I mean, sign me up. Hockey is the only sport I ever aggressively played as a human in this life. So I'm in. I can't wait. This is very, very, very exciting. Cool.
Amazing
good stuff.
Yeah, I got some other things in the hopper, but we'll wait. Yeah, okay. I'm on Twitter at Hi From Grace. Yeah.
You can find everybody there, along with One Indescribable Podcast, along with the Patreon for post-show recaps. I'm Rich Filiberto. I'm DM Philly. Probably you know who I am. I very much appreciate your patronage here. If you just want to push follow, that does a huge bit for me. The subscriptions are great. Mike, I want to thank you especially for the gift subs. They came in the middle of a powerful, heartfelt moment that I didn't want to interrupt, but it means the world to me. Thank you to everybody who just stopped in tonight, hung out, typed anything in the chat. It's really feels good to know that folks are enjoying what we are doing here. We'll be back. I'll be doing more stuff. I could give a whole list of things, but that would be foolish. Just follow me on Twitter at DMPhilly. You will hear what I am doing as it is happening. Podcast to come, more streams next week. We'll be back certainly next Tuesday with Dragonfly, where Melissa and Grace play with a bunch of our other friends from post-show recaps. It's D&D in space. Nowadays, I could say Spelljammer, and maybe some 5th edition D&D folks will recognize that word. So it's a cool little Spelljammer campaign where we adventure in space, and it's a good time, and it's very whimsical, and there's lots of talking bugs. And I think that's all I got.
That seems to be a bit of a trend in your games.
I know. They just keep
talking plants and talking bugs.
Insect life, Aiden. Yeah, I mean, good God, I can't get away from it. It's not bad. Could be worse. This has been a treat, you guys. We will be back again. Thank you all for hanging out. And I think now we just go, bye.
Bye.